Just call 1-800.
Hey, give me money. YouTube memberships. Become a member of my weirdo empire. Just 99 cents a month, you can become Max Thrasher the Bounty Hunter yourself. Special badges, shoutouts at the beginning of the streams, and you get to feel good about yourself. For $4.99 a month, you can join the Erotic Eric Fontaine tier. All those other perks, plus once a month, you can join me and our friends for a special not quite wrestling live stream where we watch something that's kind of like wrestling, but not quite. And for $9.99 a month, you can play Armstrong Bingo with us. It's all that other stuff, plus once a year, you can select what we watch on Off the Grid. Just don't make it porn. Don't make it something that'll get me a copyright strike. Please send a link because I don't want to do work. I'm lazy. Get on YouTube now. Support me. I'll thank you later. Literally, I will thank you. And until we can fix capitalism, this is the best I can do.
From the swamps of Louisiana, the Cajun Predator.
The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. We did it again. Another 7 days around the sun. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name's Tom. Right there. Tomgren. That is my name. Right there. Welcome, everyone, to WCW Deep Cuts Live. We're every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Peter Crawford, for the sub. I'll get to those in a second. Holy crap. Before we went live, hypes and hypes and hypes. So many hypes that there were trains. I'll get to that in a second. WCW Deep Cuts Live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We gather to watch the quote-unquote forgotten television classics from WCW in the 90s. Tonight, here in a second, we're going to go back to the year 1990. They aren't even calling the promotion WCW yet. It's NWA Power Hour. I'm going to watch that here in a second. Yeah, shout out. Got Peter Crawford, Incident 73, Refs' Wizards, Jonathan Mayer, all up in their subs here on Twitch. And big shout out to Therapy. We all need you. And you came through in the clutch, gifted out subs tonight. Like that. Casual Villainy. Hey, thank you for upping that Prime sub. Much appreciated. I love hearing that noise. I love that noise. Also, today, like I believe this afternoon, actually, I broke through 1,500 Twitch followers. So yeah, thank you everybody for hopping on the Tom train. But speaking of the Tom train, you know who's like in the caboose of the Tom train, like real cemented in there? That's right, the members of my weirdo empire, aka my YouTube members. Shout out to Brian Derby, the man, the myth, the legend, Commish Spiffy, Droid 11, David Syracuse, Jonathan Major, Jonathan Mayer, everybody's friend, of course, as well as Scott Keith, the Scott Keith, Hidden Track, Izzy McClure, Jason Honeycutt, Fartmaster Supreme, Ken Terminated DQ, JT, Jacob Kinney, Brenticus Maximus, the Sign Master himself, Champagne and JD, Adam Suzanne, the Suzanimal, Yankee Hawk 04, Peyton Andrews, Adam Simon, Brent Clark, Anthony Marola, Stephen J. Neptune Man, Bam Dog, Sean Fox, Jesse, Jamie, Empwa, Wild Woobs, Brandon Stevenson, Casual Villainy, Diama Bauer, Ninja Tyler Black, Active Graves, Mark Webster, Justin, aka The Bootable, Unpop, Sean O'Connell, Coop's Footy Vids, again, as always, much better than Coopy's Foot Vids, D. Cribs, Brando H. Alhio del Santo Gold, Cubla 1972, Philip Remain, Joseph Dowd, Judas Effect, Ghost of Burt Prentice, Generic Footy Fan, Cloud 121D, Joshua Kuhn, King Coop, Edsel Mask, and David. So if you're not on YouTube right now, that's the URL you can go to subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. By the way, we're not live. If you're watching on YouTube, this is not live right now. But you can just hold down the join button and it'll give you an option to subscribe. That is if you're on PC. If you're on your phone, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I tried my hardest. But YouTube won't listen to me. So anyway, that's how you get join the Weirdo Empire. I believe we're going next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday for our next members only stream. We'll talk about that next week. But you know what you can do in the meantime is join the Discord. tinyurl.com/discord for Tom Green. Hop in there. If you're a fan of the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat, and you want to keep it going all week, there you go, baby. 7 days a week, it's open. All the time, except for that 10-15 a.m. period on Wednesdays. We have to shut it down. We have to clean it. What a lot of grime and filth. But it opens back up at 10:30 on Friday, on Wednesdays. Not Fridays. We don't keep it closed for 2 days. We keep it closed for 15 minutes. So the cleaning crew can come in, clean it down. Hell yeah. Yeah, Ghost of Bert Prentice has it right. If you are watching this on YouTube after the fact, come join us on Tuesdays. But anyway, I clicking on the wrong screen. Let's go. We're 5 minutes into this thing and we have not watched 1 ounce of wrestling. What are we doing, folks? Let's go back to 1990. Watch some Power Hour. Oh, one other thing. There is a schedule, little flip-flab. I will explain here after the first episode. You're going to get just as much Tom, but it will not be a Tommy Tuesday next week. It'll be a Tommy different day. I have a thing that came up, so we'll talk about that here in a bit. But let's go to NWA Power Hour from March of 1990. Let's go. As always, let me know how the audio is, both mine and the videos. Bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, ba, da, ba, no. I don't think they ever updated this until the show got canceled, other than changing the promotion name.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to TBS, the Superstation. This is Jim Ross, along with Gordon
Sully and Jim Ross,
here for the NWA Wrestling
live in front of
we have got a tremendous
of a flooring sample.
We're going to see not only a return match for the United States Tag Team Championship that we will talk about in just a few moments, but Gordon, we're also going to be talking about what happened this past Sunday at Wrestle War in Greensboro. I know you filed a full report.
Precisely, I
They
did.
filed a full report. Makes it sound like they went to actual war.
I'll present a total overview of the matches and the results during the Wrestling News Network upcoming next.
Wrestling
As our
News
big man
Network.
event will be a rematch for the United States Tag Team Championship, a rematch of the finals. Flying Brian and the Z-Man are the new United States Tag Team Champions, and they will put those
Jim
belts
Ross
on
a little
the
less
line
Lego-headed
against the
tonight.
fabulous Freebirds.
Gordon
the
Sully
Freebirds are former World Tag
drinking
Team
for
champions.
3.
Well, they are indeed, and you really have.
Also, that looks like a
one sense of
toy
the word,
microphone.
even though Flying Brian and the Z-Man are the champions. You have to look at the Freebirds very carefully. They have the edge in experience.
Why are they
have the
recording
edge
this
in
while
being a tag
fans
team
are in the
combination.
building?
I'm not intimating.
It's not into
that
a house
Brian and
mic.
Z-Man took it by a fluke at all.
But the fans are bored and just going,
They certainly
in the
are,
background.
and they have an ingredient called confidence now that they're the champions.
An ingredient called
Before they were
confidence.
doing
It's
all
my
the
favorite
teasing.
book by Stephen
Now,
King.
The Freebirds are going to have to come to them. So time is also on the side of Flying Brian and the Z.
Oh, I assume somebody's walking into the ring. Why are we doing this live to tape? Yeah, Gordon's got some like bootleg high school ring seller rings. This is gonna be fun. Keith Hart, for those of you who don't know, him in his sweet ass jacket. Look at that thing. Keith Hart was only second to Lee Scott for like best bumping enhancement wrestler of this era. The Keith Hart, not the Keith Hart, as in not Brett None's brother. This is a different guy.
On the Power Hour, and Gordon, this man, Cactus Jack, I don't know what his relationship is with Kevin Sullivan. We're gonna find out a little bit.
Keith Hart is dressed like a little kid dressed as Bam Bam Bigelow for Halloween.
Well, I'll tell you what, with a fellow like Sullivan, he's as unpredictable as the wind. So There's no telling what's liable to come out of it.
They have a camera operator dressed like the dad from Just the 10 of Us on the apron. Have I ever encountered a Rex Hart? I don't believe so.
Cactus Jack with a wrist lock on Keith Hart. We have a tremendous program here on the Power Hour.
Mick Foley, as always in this era, dressed like Peg Bundy. He's got the lady bathing suit strap, as Jonathan pointed out. Yeah, Mick's looking good here. Kevin Sullivan just hanging out at ringside. Not like being like spooky Kevin Sullivan, just like hanging out. Looks like he's smoking. Yeah, look at Keith Hart like landing on his shoulder for the Mr. Wrestling 2 running knee. Like Keith Hart was pretty good, pretty solid, but he just never got to do moves.
But it was dry that time, Gordon.
It was indeed. If you can change a man's direction during a drop kick like that, you can cause him a lot of harm. It's essential that
like Kevin looks like he's watching his child play Little League. Ooh, okay. Rex Hart was wrestler northeastern Indiana. We had Terry Funk's quote last match in Hammond, Indiana. I mean, Terry's from there, so. Oh, jeez! Just punched him in the mouth there.
With a clothesline, and of course that closed fist caught him right in the throat.
I always wondered what I would put in my ruse if I had ruse. Jonathan said he would put quarters in his ruse. I'd probably put ibuprofen. I always have headaches. Kevin told Jack they could call for self-serve after the match. Hey kid, just make contact. Make some wicked contact. We'll be good. A mandible claw out of that. I swear he did that once. Like early in the Mankind run. I swear. What is he gonna do here? Oh, on his shoulder.
Shoulder and back of the skull.
Cactus Jack dropping the elbow now. Will he try to pin him? 1-2, and he picks him up.
No, TK, I was referring to Kevin Sullivan at ringside. What the fucking dog? Just got under the table and like lifted it.
Well, in his outlook on life, that's for sure.
Brian, I'm at the age where I'd have to put fish oil capsules in my ruse. The OG Styles with the follow. Thank you so much. Appreciate you bringing the soda and the crackers. Glad to have you hanging out here. Enjoy, relax. I always loved that move, the reverse flying teabag on the ropes.
Well, it looks like the steam is out of Keith Hart.
Also, this match has gone on really, really long for a Star versus Keith Hart. Yeah, Kevin does kind of have the shitty Little League dad vibe. Oh, that was a cool bump and pretty safe too. Keith Hart has like a less embarrassing version of that Elon haircut that came out today. I don't know if you guys have seen the new Elon Musk haircut. It looks like the Keith Hart haircut, but like way higher up.
Referee Randy Anderson exercising his count. Kevin Sullivan's on the outside. He's got a smile on his face. Had moments ago. He's liking what he sees. He's happy with the results.
I like Kevin's braid. His I don't know if it's a French braid, but his braided ponytail. Hey, Cecil. Cecil Nix in the house. I agree, Cecil. Oh my gosh! Holy crap! The French did Nancy do it? I have to think Nancy helped him with the ponytail. I'm saying this as Keith Hart just died. Cecil, by the way, this past weekend wrestled in a 7 out of 13 falls tag team match. Oh my gosh! I always loved the elbow because, like this, like. Maybe Mick's like forearm would hit the guy, and then Mick would just eat shit on the concrete. Disnutted. Oh boy. I believe that's a website that some of us have a subscription to. Hello, thank you so much for the follow. And it invented the multi-pile driver.
Cactus Jack looks like he's a little
That's why you all need to go subscribe to the Mystery Wrestling Patreon. So you can check out what happened Sunday at Mystery Wrestling. Yeah, Mick is insane in this area. I mean, he's insane in most areas, but he's trying to get noticed here.
He must have. Look at this.
This is absolutely phenomenal. Look at him clearing that hurdle.
Found out my
crashing
secrets.
down all the way across, catching
Oh, jeez.
Keith Hart, caught him in the side of the rib cage as you saw, that hand driving that force in. And
Yeah, Keith Hart.
At that point in time, it was all
Yeah,
over
not
for
that Keith Hart.
And we'll be
Yeah,
back.
that was great. Keith Hart has a really good match with Owen Hart. I forget what fake name he used for that one. But they did some cool shit like a few months after this.
Sunday night. Now, if you were not fortunate enough to be able to see it on pay-per-view, let me give you a quick rundown of the match.
This episode was filmed at Center Stage, yes, except for this part, which is filmed at 4th grade picture day.
Paid a price for that. And then it was Norman over Cactus Jack Manson. We'll hear more from those two in the future.
I love how he's just reading the pay-per-view results off of a sheet of paper.
Jim Cornette interfered several times in the match and almost got his comeuppance. The Road Warriors and the Skyscrapers. Well, Teddy Long found out what it felt like to fly through the air. Luckily, Doom was outside the ring and caught him as they had thrown him over the top rope. I might point out,
like this
appears to me that Doom and
listening to this
are going to have
reminds
in the
me.
future. And then
Why do people still do like
retain their tag
match
titles
play-by-play
over
in
the
text?
Freebirds, and that certainly looks
Like
the
Meltzer
Freebirds
does
are
it.
going to have a long
A bunch of
struggle
people,
trying to
other people. I
regain
think
those
Mike Johnson still does it.
Finally, it was
Like, why?
Scott Steiner.
They have the videos. We have clip forms. There's a music video of every match. It's like 30 seconds or less.
However,
within an hour of every match now. You don't need to do play-by-play.
The NWA
Just let us see the cool shit later.
Between Ric Flair and Lex Luger. And this match went on for
Hey, Fran, welcome.
And Luger definitely had the edge on Flair. At one point, the referee was
Cactus
knocked
Jack
unconscious,
Manson.
and he was down. Luger had Flair down for a count of 9. Well, finally, Sting came to ringside.
Gordon Soley is the head of the science department chaperoning the senior prom. Guaranteed. He spiked the punch. And then he took the punch and he kept it all for himself.
The torture rack. When suddenly
Gordon was not a big guy.
On Sting.
Whereas Jim Ross is shockingly huge.
Suddenly wheeled through Flair to the canvas, jumped outside, and he was eventually counted out. I'm sure
but
the
Meltzer
NWA is going to
Meltzer
have
ain't
rematches.
Meltzer doesn't need to charge $20 for the play-by-play. Just like write more history pieces or something. You don't have to sit there and type every move in a match.
Rick Morton, a torn connector muscle in the major pectoralis, and of course
a torn connector muscle in the major pectoralis.
It was a rough night in Greensboro, but a great night of wrestling competition.
Sounds like a
That's Wrestling
Connect
News
set
Network.
piece. Hell yeah, Samoan SWAT team coming up next.
Phenomenal victory, an interesting report. I'm sure we'll talk more about Wrestle War. A lot of big things came out of that situation. But speaking of big things, a pair of big guys are going to be coming to the ring.
I thought he was going to get perverted.
Teams in all of wrestling, the Wild Samoans.
He was going to get
I have to agree with that.
going to get all cowboy emoji.
In my opinion, underrated. Sir Oliver Humperdink has been bringing them along very slowly. But I'll tell you what, I look for
those
them to be a
rings
team of
on
the future
Gordon.
and possibly future world.
I cannot imagine what he was doing in
I also
Florida.
find out, Gordon, that they are having some managerial problems. They've had problems taking instruction from the kahunas, as it were.
Kahunas. There we go. The big kahunas.
Well, knowing their
I know the big kahuna is Oliver Humperdink. By the way, did you all know Oliver Humperdink was gay? I found that out recently.
Of their own. And this, I think, is
he lived closeted up until like the last couple years of his life, I guess.
In tag team action. Let's go back up to Tony Gillum.
Don't seem gay.
First from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is
That's what my dad said about me. No, since I'm doing ECW Deep Cuts, will there be an ECW Deep Cuts live in the future? Likely not, just because all of ECW TV is on Peacock / the network / whatever. So it's not really deep cut. Like this stuff ain't getting archived by WWE. That's kind of the charm in it. I guess the Humperdink should have given it away. This is such a cool song. How did they get away with playing the Halloween thing? At this point, ASCAP was not really super hardcore about going after TV shows for licensing like this. It would happen a little bit after this, like within a couple of months. So Paul Drake and Bob Cook, Super Sock Bob Cook, against the Samoans.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tag team action here.
I think it fits the gimmick. They're not gonna come out to like dudes pounding on bongos and fucking animal noises. No, they're just fucking scary.
Outstanding agility for two men that weigh in that 300-pound category.
Yes, you're exactly right on that.
Like the Steiners were using Guns N' Roses. Twitch. Here's the thing about Twitch and copyrighted music. Oft mentioned my kayfabe cousin Scotland Green, Mr. Green Mist. Thursdays at 9 p.m. Pro Wrestling Potluck. Check him out. He's had trouble with it. He's gotten copyright strikes before for music. I never have.
Well, we'll see how they do against Cook and Drake.
I never have had an issue with music. Hell, I played a fucking movie on Twitch a few months ago. And they were like, whatever. Makes me feel horrible for Scotland's had so many issues with copyright stuff, and they just look the other way for me.
This Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Paul Drake starting out.
Yeah, Heyman's in the back like, what's this? We could just play music?
Nick Patrick, the official for this tag team event here on the Power Hour. Remember, still to come, perhaps say more.
That's awesome. And very pro wrestling to just switch the tapes.
Definition of the association, I should say, involving Sullivan, Sawyer, and Cactus Jack.
I'm not as good on the Samoan family tree as I should be. I don't think either of them are Jacob's dad. Is Tama? Tama's his dad? Okay. Well, this is Samu and Fatu. So, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's Samu and Fatu. Here. And then there was a Samoan Savage who was, oh shit! Fatu laid him out. And then blows his nose on him. A Tonga Kid who would be a Samoan Savage who'd come in and do like 6 minutes with them at this time.
They do indeed, and here's some double teaming very quickly before that count of 4.
But this is the SST.
And he moves out just on the count of 4.
And without giving too much away, let's just say if you like what you're seeing here, you will enjoy my Why They Rule video this Friday.
He's one of the underrated guys in the NWA as well from Florida.
Oh, poor Bob Cook. Poor Bob Cook. So I always like to mention Big Evil Knievel history these days. Bob Cook.
Of course, the NWA will return to the Omni. 3 championships.
Like legit one of the world's utmost authorities on Evil Knievel history.
And Bob Cook is in no man's land.
Yeah, I would say so, but like, I like Oliver Humperdink. He's one of those people that could only exist in pro wrestling. Like, could you imagine Oliver Humperdink trying to get a job out in the real world? That ain't happening.
It certainly was.
Oh! Very casual concussion.
The throat that, it is.
Standing drop kick for a man that weighs
the Samoan Scott team, Roddy Piper and Fat Team. Hey, Roddy Piper and Tonga Kid. Body slam. Quick Rick and Tonga Tom. Yeah, that's the only job he could have. He could either run a car wash that only accepts cash, like Kyle Pacelli's dad said, or he could run a bowling alley, like Green Boy said. Oh my God.
Smoking that big cigar over there.
Yeah, I get it.
Likes what he sees.
Oh.
Used to the easy life.
Powerful.
I might end up doing a Why Bob Cook Rules, Mikey, one of these days. Oliver was only 42 years old. By the way, there's a picture going around on, I think it was Twitter yesterday, of, it was like 22 or 24-year-old George the Animal Steel.
They face that disadvantage.
That is horrifying.
Unrivaled savagery of both of these Samoans really puts them at a distinct disadvantage.
He looks like he could be Paul Drake's dad. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Paul Drake is going through it here.
They are a tremendous team. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Oliver Humperdink, Florida Trailer Park property manager.
Championships to be decided. One of the biggest cards in many, many years in the Omni will be 1 week from
I love the SST because they would just, oh my God. Fucking Black Mass.
For that triple
And he got him in the side of the head. Like right along here. Right along there.
And this is a very sadistic gesture.
Well, it's the same thing as we had, of course, with Cactus Jack.
Humperdink smoking.
And I'm sure at the direction of
just casually.
Humperdink are trying to everybody trying to intimidate
it's 1990.
They may have.
Bob Cook fighting back.
I bet Oliver Humperdink would have run a great gay bar.
But it's just
exactly, Cecil. There's our trivia for the night. Malachi Black stole the Black Mass from Samu.
I would certainly have to agree to that. And Cook realizes, of course, as any
he's
wrestler does when he's
getting paid probably better than a lot of the wrestlers to just stand there and do one of these, you know?
Fans, this Saturday night, 6:05 on World Championship Wrestling. We're going to have some special words from a couple of Texas legends.
Ronnie Watts, that guy, with cigars and stripes.
This Saturday night on
up
World
near Chicago.
Championship Wrestling, a great program. This Saturday
Hell yeah,
night.
Dr. Liam. Hello, hello.
Rock and Roll Express meet the
Crimson Mask
Freebirds.
replica on the Instagram. Hell of a follow. Quick Rick and Tonka Tom. That's right. They were touring in Body Slam with the band Kick.
After their phenomenal encounter this
Presented by M. Harry Smilak.
By the way, speaking of Terry Funk, he's going to be the
There's a Body Slam, one of the all-time great movies.
And that will be out in
some of the language doesn't age well, but
McDaniels will be in his hometown of Midland, Texas on Wednesday to be the special referee.
And we'll hear from those two legendary figures from the NWA tomorrow on World Championship.
By the way,
Wrestling.
I'm always a
Bob
dick
Cook
and
is
forget to
literally
do
out on
it.
his feet.
I see Nathan in the chat tonight. Go
Cook set on
follow
that
Cheap
top
Heat Spot Fest on
turnbuckle.
Instagram as well.
Up
He
top goes. Cook
does an
is in
amazing
trouble.
job. Oh my
And a
gosh.
back-to-plex right off the top rope.
Chronicling
And we
the
talked
best
about
in
high
Chicago
impact,
independent
and this
wrestling.
one will put the icing on the
Does
cake.
an amazing job filming and editing
300
clips.
plus, right off the top rope.
Also,
What a
fuck
move, the Wild
WWE for
Samoans.
taking out his Terry Funk
Hey, they are
video.
deadly.
Yeah, it is very weird how long all these matches are. But hey, if it's gonna have long squash matches, I want the Samoans and I want Cactus Jack. Oh, I thought that lady was flipping off Cornette.
We've got some interesting guests.
Oh my
on
God.
The Louisville Slugger, and Kevin, you told me this guy was going to be okay.
Why did Kevin Sullivan undress for this promo?
Cactus Jack and
He was
Mad Dog
wearing
Sawyer.
multiple
Before I talk to you,
layers.
Kevin, about this new group you put together, I gotta ask one thing, Cactus Jack.
Yeah, they got
what's
it
this I hear
full
about you
time.
becoming
but-
Kevin
I
Sullivan's
don't know, maybe
man
book an
Friday?
extra segment.
No, Jim, today is Friday. Me and Kevin got together a few weeks ago.
Yeah, this aired on Friday night at
What's
this
this I hear
time.
about Kevin Sullivan guiding your career?
Soon after, it would move to Saturday
No, you see,
morning,
again, you're
a
wrong
few months
because
later.
My career, it's always gone in
Look at
just one
Buzz
direction.
Sawyer's hair. He
Kevin,
went
let me
through
talk to
life
you.
like that.
Listen, what? Hey, you told me he was all right, okay? You told me he's okay? All right. What's the situation
Yeah, you should
here with
definitely
this group
do
you put together?
something like that,
Cactus
dude.
Jack and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer.
I enjoy
What
the
a
Internet
combination
Archive myself.
With you.
This is the Slaughterhouse. The three of us. It could be Slaughterhouse 3.
I kind of
Slaughterhouse
wish
4, or Slaughterhouse
Collision would
5.
move to Saturday
First
mornings.
of
I never
all,
will. I
this
understand
is
why.
not the most elite
But
group
I
in
wish Collision would move to
professional
Saturday
wrestling.
mornings.
We don't drive no limos. We're the kind of guys that
Yeah,
come up
Foley, Sullivan,
turn
and
the
Sawyer, the
limos
one time
over and reach
Sullivan
in
and Foley were the
grab
low-key
people
guys in the
that
stable.
ride in the limos that
The
fly
Slaughterhouse.
The other thing-
Slaughterhouse. Jack, I believe, was in a car accident around this time.
People up because I want to tell the
He told
TV
people that he
world
lost his
out there.
teeth in a match, but it was in a car
People
accident,
out there
if I
in the
remember
audience.
correctly.
All you guys driving a truck, all you big muscle heads who think you're somebody, well, right here is the Mad Dog, Kevin Sullivan, and the Madman back here. And I tell you right
That would be
now,
amazing,
you people
and I
shut
fully
your
support
mouth.
that.
The Mad's talking. The
There's one thing I want to say. And
Yeah, Buzz never ages because he was born
In this
45.
country, you're supposed to be innocent until you're proven guilty.
I was guilty.
Not that.
I don't know why. That I put that in the teaser clip. I love that.
Buzz was never proven guilty. Doesn't matter of what. First of all, I'm going to make a personal reference.
Buzz Sawyer's another guy who could only ever exist in wrestling. Who else is going to hire him?
If you want to meet the slaughterhouse, it gets to be real personal. It's like this, Cornette. I said it doesn't matter who it is. What happens is when you meet the slaughterhouse,
Buzz's laugh is
There you have
horrifying.
it for the Louisville Slugger, a strange brew. The slaughterhouse, their meatloaf isn't all baked.
God, what a fucking Kentucky saying. Their meatloaf ain't all the way baked.
Remaining, it is a return match for the United States Tag Team titles. Introducing first the challengers. From
Here we
Atlanta,
go.
Atlanta,
Stars
GA,
versus
Michael
stars.
Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin, the fabulous Freebirds.
Fuck is this song? I don't. This is Michael Hayes singing. This has to be Michael Hayes. I'm pretty sure this is Michael Hayes singing. If it's not, I'd look really stupid. Yeah, that's got to be Michael Hayes. Holes 69. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you bringing the flat, a soda, and the crackers in Mike Tenay form. Appreciate that hangout. Hopefully, if you want, you can join the chat. If not, just hang out either way. I don't think anybody actually wanted to see Michael Hayes gyrate like that. He just did it. Speaking of songs that they did not have the rights to play, there's no way that lady made that song.
Gordon, this is a return.
The Z-Man, he's a queeter. He's a queeter. Tom Zink's a queeter. Yes, Tom Zink did hold the U.S. tag belts. I believe he held the WCW six-man tag belts, too. He held all the tag belts that nobody wanted.
It should be very interesting as this match develops. This strategy that will be employed.
Jimmy Garvin dressed like any number of women at a Yeah Yeah Yeahs concert in 2007. Z-Man should have come out to let the kids pray in school. Down in Freebird Road. Tara, I'll forget you now. I wasn't saying I forget you. I'll never forget you, I think was the lyric. I should remember lyrics before I start singing songs. Freebird Road is a very sweet tribute to Terry Gordy that Michael Hayes made. The video's fucking hilarious. His heart's in the right place, but he fucking pours one out for Terry Gordy. And he's like a 65-year-old man. Z-Man was six-man tag champs with Dustin Rhodes and Big Josh. That's why you can't keep track of this shit. Because the six-man tag belts were literally just the three guys left in the locker room that didn't have belts. There was always teams like that. Ron Simmons, Tommy Rich, and Joey Mags. There's so much hair in this match. So much hair.
Chiseled athletes, both of them with tremendous.
Put it back in your pants, Gordon.
And as you mentioned earlier, of course, now they have the confidence, and they obviously have the crowd support. There's no question about that. Championship on the line here.
That kid have an accordion?
In the Omni. 1 week from this Sunday night,
I think that kid might have had an accordion. Honestly, why not? Why wouldn't a kid bring an accordion to a WCW show?
Well, it's interesting. Z-Man knows Michael Hayes' tactics, and I think he decided.
If there was a doop Hayes scented candle, it would be Stale Marlboros, Speeds, Jack Daniels, and B.O. You said it perfectly, Coastal Burt Prentice. Like a giant baseball. Maybe it was a giant baseball. It probably was likely not an accordion. It's an oversized baseball card. Okay. I have a tendency to lean into the hyperbole. WWE has a lot of Omni shows on tape, a lot more than you would think. Here's the thing, a lot of the TV didn't survive, but a lot of those Omni shows somehow did. How often do I think the Freebirds showered? Michael Hayes probably showered every day. It's just, when you drink like he did, you need it more than once a day.
Flying Brian with the Irish whip, Hayes to the corner. Clothesline right out of the corner. And Flying Brian, who will meet Ric Flair this Sunday night in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Over 30 stars have signed to appear on
Why do your tights need dick strings?
It's going to be a great night of competition, and next Tuesday night, wrestling in Lubbock, Texas, and the Man of 1,000 Masks, Mil Mascaris, will be on hand. And boy, what an athlete he is. Collared elbow tie-up, Jimmy Garvin and the Z-Man, Tom Zink, a former Mr. Minnesota.
Z-Man has the most understated mullet in the match. Oh, he's punching him right in the damn forehead. Oh, poor Cora Jade. Get well soon. Never wish injury on anyone. This is around that time that he came in and had that match with Cactus Jack at the Clash. What the fuck was that? It's like sexy Ralph Macchio. I wish you could get away with wearing like 2000s leather indie pants as everyday clothing. That'd be way more comfortable than tights, in my opinion. There's another Ralph Macchio. Asexual Ralph Macchio.
Or at least a good portion of that match. If you missed it, this Saturday night on World Championship Wrestling.
Whereas Michael Hayes is asexual predator. I kid.
The U.S. tag titles this Saturday night on World Championship.
I read the lawsuit.
I'm glad to hear that tape was recovered because Michael Hayes had succinctly blocked it at one point in time, and I'm certainly glad that the fans.
Randy Anderson swimming in that referee shirt.
Something you won't want to miss. Another reason to watch our program.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy Garvin smelled. I think Jimmy Garvin wanted to look like he smelled, but Jimmy Garvin probably conditioned himself very well to look smelly. Jimmy was 38 years old here. I'm 37.
He is indeed.
But I need to get on it.
He doesn't have the high.
Michael Hayes also has dick strings in his tights. Why?
His legs are perfectly in proportion with the.
Yeah, Precious wouldn't let him smell. He keeps him honest.
Former member of the Cincinnati Bengals, played for a time with the Buffalo Bills, also played in the Canadian Football League.
Michael Hayes released the perfume. It's just Crown Royal in a spray bottle.
For the challengers.
That woman's hair in front of that sign is so big that she blocked off an entire name. Mascaris and Cactus was the month before. Thank you, Dr. Liam. That's why you're here. I don't have Google, and you know everything. There were 2 Canadian football teams called the Rough Riders in the same league. That's hilarious. I don't even like football.
Briefly, and of course he needs that surcease right now, and Garvin stepping.
Like if they played each other, wouldn't one team have to just be the Riders?
I like that word, surcease. A lot of teams want the opportunity.
You had 2 in a league of 6 teams. Nobody could be like the Warriors.
Yeah, in fact, I think Cornette's really bitter about the entire thing. He didn't understand why his team couldn't take it, but. Again, I have to say this, it was no mistake, no accident.
Saskatchewan and Ottawa.
The Z-Man and Flying Brian won it. They just wanted it more than anybody else.
Jimmy Jam Garvin with a handful of tights there, rolling.
God, could you imagine Oliver Humperdink and Michael Hayes, where they would go together at night?
There's a count of 1, 2. Pillman's got to be very, very aware because the Freebirds will take any and every shortcut to win these titles.
I'm not surprised, Louise. But yeah, here in America, some wrestlers drink tequila before getting in the ring.
Garvin almost, he relaxed there somewhat, but right now he's got the tights again. Randy Anderson, a good piece of officiating.
Ottawa is now the red blacks. I feel like that's double racist. The Ottawa Red
Tremendous job, a
Blacks.
thankless job in all reality. But Nick Patrick
Please don't cancel me for saying that out
and of
loud.
course, the senior official still convalescing. Tommy Young.
Yeah, if Michael Hayes covered Tub Thumping, it would just be, he drank a whiskey drink, he drank a whiskey drink, he drank a whiskey drink, another whiskey drink, and just that part on a loop for like 4 minutes.
He's got him up. Both men up and over.
At least the Eskimos changed their names. Hey, we gotta get with time somewhat.
Well, those are the strongest.
This is
muscles
a
in the
much
body.
better
You
match
just
than
put
you'd
them
think
to,
for the Freebirds.
absolute
I
perfect
agree.
use.
I'm just riffing
now,
about
signaling for a timeout. No timeouts in wrestling.
Michael Hayes smelling
You
bad.
might get a halftime or timeouts in football, but that doesn't happen here in wrestling.
But here's the thing, Michael Hayes seems like he could get free whiskey wherever. What does that sign say? To stand alone. I assume that's a fan sign, but that'd be funny if somebody hand wrote like an exit sign at center stage. I've heard stories that Michael Hayes does not discriminate his loving. Let's just say, allegedly.
Just barely. He had 1 foot over the ropes, which technically puts him in the ring. But brother, he was
But
just
brother,
barely.
I love when Gordon Soley would get kind of worked up and bust up the brother. Also, I love Turner executives being caught on tape laughing at the wrestling. Oh man, this shit's funny. Ted's at it again.
And that's Garvin's problem. We really appreciate the promotional support. The hottest selling shoe in America.
Is this crowd nothing but people that worked at CNN Center?
Line for the NWA. You can't. I've seen a preview of those. They are just phenomenal. Going to be the most popular shoe of 1990. No doubt about that.
Those shoes, I saw a preview. Saw a picture of a Roo. Those Roos are the best. They are going to take the shoe market by storm. Trust me, Jim Ross, shoe aficionado.
I'm sure the wild Samoans would feel the same way.
Well, certainly.
Yeah, could you imagine that memo going around? Hey, free wrestling tickets tonight, center stage.
The point is,
Do we have to go? Yes, you have to go.
Their youth.
It's team building. That's right.
What
There's
I'm
the
seeing
word
so
premise.
far, very frankly, they have that 110% intensity that I think may keep them champions for a long
These
time.
men are so sweaty, and I don't think they've really done a whole lot. Those TV lights are so hot.
As we mentioned earlier, big kid. He was a former Mr. Minnesota before he got into
Big
professional
kid.
wrestling. Was into bodybuilding and powerlifting. Want to thank the fans for calling all.
Yeah, it's one of those
hotline.
company outings where it's like, yeah, you don't have to go, but if you don't, you should probably pack your stuff.
I say that's plural, and I'll have that. This
For most of us, yeah, it'd be fun to go to a wrestling show on your employer's dime. These folks, no.
Of course, that number, I think you probably know it by
They probably
heart
hate
now,
the
but
fact that they have to like go to wrestling stuff after having to work work on wrestling stuff at the office. Like, no, we don't want to do this. Pass that off to that weird hairy guy named Ole down in the basement.
Trouble, and this is where the experience of Michael Hayes and Jim Garvin takes over. But Hayes.
What are my thoughts on Z-Man? He's both over and underrated. There are people that think Z-Man was just the shits, and they are wrong. But I also don't think Z-Man was like a great work rate guy either. I just think he was like the right size and look to be thought of as a quote work rate guy. Yes, Brian can confirm he was with Spike when they had TNA. Plenty of those people wanted nothing to do with wrestling. But I bet when TNA was in New York, they were all told, hey, you should probably go to the Manhattan Center. What the fuck was that?
It's like taking that time out just
Like
before
a
they're
fucking
gonna kick a
TikTok
crucial
kid.
field goal.
Is The Miz better than Tom Zink? I don't think the physical wrestling part Miz is better.
He's always had that desire to compete because
Miz has a hell of a lot more personality.
when he played. And he played 3 or 4 years in the NFL, so he played on heart and instinct, determination.
Z go. Go Z go.
Right here to the NWA.
Do they know that his name is Tom?
Play on those suicide squads, and I'll tell you what,
Yeah, that's probably part of it too. Like Ghost of Burt Prentice brought up. These people spent so much money on college, and they're realizing that Michael Hayes, his annual salary is 3 or 4 times what they're making. Where would Z-Man rank among the fellow Minnesota wrestling brethren, fellow Robbinsdale High School? Very low. But he also had
I'll tell you, he's in trouble. Those eyes are
the Robbinsdale crew is like an all-time great wrestling crew from one high school. It's Hennig, it's Rude, it's Norton, it's Hart. Like, it's a little unfair. Like, to be the shittiest guy from Robbinsdale High School, you're still pretty good. But yeah, Tom Zink had like no personality. Was Arn from Robbinsdale? I knew he's from Minnesota. I didn't think Arn was from Robbinsdale. Or from the Robbinsdale High School, rather. He wasn't one of them Grandma B's guys. Exactly, Brian. Being the worst wrestler from the Robbinsdale pack is not bad. Could you imagine having that sweaty, gross forearm rubbed all over you? How disgusting that must feel. Oh yeah, he's... oh shit. Why I feel... Oh, it's Michael's brown sweat.
Time is still an ally of the Z-Man and Flying Brian.
Flying Brian. He just called him Flying Brian. I think they announced its TV time remaining is the time limit. Yep, right there. Boom. Right on cue. Television time remaining. Somebody needs to bring that back. It's not going to happen on Raw because they don't have the Hart out anymore. Like Dynamite should have TV time remaining.
He certainly was. Now, let's see if the Z-Man can make the tag. He desperately needs to do so. He's somewhat addled.
Oh, hey, there we go. Jimmy Garvin's like, don't. Oh, shit, you tagged.
Garvin goes for the ride, and Garvin is elevated. Michael Hayes comes in, and he's dropped.
Yeah, per Wikipedia, Rick Rude, Tom Zink, Brady Boone, Nikolai Volkov, Nikita Koloff, I'm stupid, Kurt Hennig, John Nord, and Barry Darsow. Of them, Brady Boone technically was better than Tom. Neither of them had an ounce of personality, which is a shame. But Brady Boone was better than Tom Zink. I'm trying to think who of them I would prefer Tom Zink. I don't think there's one of them. Jim Cornette takes a bump for no reason.
They are pulverizing him out there.
They're pulverizing him. God, I hope that Rue's ring apron has survived. Oh no, it's not a ring apron, it's just a sign they tacked on the thing. Rock and Roll Express in the ring, of course they are. Hawk and Scott Norton went to the rival high school. Okay, that's... And I wish Jim Cornette would split in two. So you have the performer and the historian Jim Cornette, and then all that other shit. Yeah, journalistic integrity. Jim Cornette's managing and doing interviews. Okay, so we have to tune in tomorrow to get highlights for Wrestle War 90.
The stars of the NWA.
God, I thought the other house show ads were generic. Holy shit.
Due the outside interference of the Midnight Express, but Jim Cornette and his team may be starting a war that they may not be able to
staring a hole, not through Jim Ross, but through the Jim Ross that is kind of blurry off to the side.
And what he did out there tonight, I think he is truly trying to save Pillman and the Z-Man so his men can get to them.
And fans, speaking of Flying Brian and the Z-Man, they are this week's Wrestlers of the Week. In the
Why?
NWA.
They won a match by
now,
disqualification.
This Saturday night, not only will we have another report from Wrestle War,
that's very random.
Interesting comments from Ric Flair and Lex Luger.
You'd think the guy that won the pay-per-view main event would be the Wrestler of the Week.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, next Friday night, We're going to be seeing a television title match, Arn Anderson and Tommy Wildfire Rich, and I look for Rich to surprise Anderson.
Yeah, I think the people that just want the history
weekend
would pay
here on
double.
TBS.
I agree, Brian.
And also, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I had the opportunity right after the event in this past Sunday in Greensboro to talk to Sting, and wasn't it heartwarming, the reception that he received?
Well, he certainly deserved it. I'll tell you something. He's got a real firm spine, because here was a kid who really could have gone into a blue funk, if you will.
Gordon just said two things I've never heard: a blue funk and a firm spine. Those both sound like diseases.
605 in World Championship Wrestling.
A blue. His suit looks like a blue
won those
funk.
United States Tag Team titles and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us. For Gordon Soley, I'm Jim Ross. So long, everybody.
All right, so before we go to the second episode, stop there. Here's what's going down next week. 2 days of Tommy, back to back. I got a work thing on Tuesday I cannot get out of. So I will not be available Tuesday night next week to do the WCW Deep Cuts live. So I'm coming at you a day early next week. We're doing 2 days in a row. Sunday, 8 p.m. off the grid. Monday Night Wars are back. I'm going head-to-head with the WWE Raw simulcast Twitch dude watching a show, bored out of his mind in a chair stream. So we're bringing it. Sunday and Monday next week, back-to-back. Here's the first half of the doubleheader. Sunday at 8 p.m. for Off the Grid.
Well, let me tell you something. Coily don't like knuckleheads. And Coily's going to make sure that you learn how to do the shuffle.
That's right. Coily don't like knuckleheads, and neither do I. All right, this is as loud as I can get this. Let me see if I can work something real quick.
And hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us here on TBS. This is the NWA Wrestling
Hopefully that's a little better.
Gordon Soley. It's going to be a great hour.
What was that? That was IWCCW.
Nature Boy Ric Flair against Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Wait, there is a pay-per-view Sunday, isn't there? Fuck. Okay, shit, what am I gonna do? I didn't even think about that. Revolution is this Sunday. It's not Saturday, is it?
Lex Luger is so close to winning the World's Heavyweight Championship. Will that preoccupation from Nature Boy Ric Flair have a bearing on
what will I
contest,
do?
in your opinion?
Yes, I think it will. I think that
I'll get back to you.
Flair has been.
It's Sunday. Fuck, I thought it was Saturday.
Gearing for a
I'm an idiot. I might move it to the next Sunday.
Tonight he's going up
I
against
might. I don't want to do it
I
early.
think that'll make a difference.
I might do it
Ladies and
early. I
gentlemen,
don't
also
know.
tonight, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert is here against
I'm not going head to head with
Higgins.
Revolution.
Well over
So that's not
300
happening
pounds. Gilbert may
Sunday.
be giving
We're
away
not doing
as
two
much as
days of
100
Tommy.
pounds to this man.
Yes, and I'll tell you what,
I might do an
Gilbert's gonna
afternoon
have to
show.
rely on his speed,
We'll see.
and his skills in this. He has a tendency to showboat a little bit, but he's going to have to watch himself tonight.
Plus, ladies and gentlemen, the Rock and Roll Express, who are involved in a tremendous feud with the fabulous Freebirds, will be here tonight.
And it's all coming to you direct from the whitewater rafting capital of the world, as far as I'm concerned.
By the
way,
white
Vice President
water
Dan Quayle and his
rafting
family
capital of
were,
the world.
Shooting the rapids here recently. So it's going to be an action night of wrestling in an action area.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Gary Capetta in the introduction of our first match. Fans, as we mentioned,
This will be sweet. Eddie Gilbert. Speaking of guys coming out to music they don't have the rights to. The Sting Coloring Contest.
So it's a good opportunity soon to get your pencil and paper handy. No
I'll leave it up to you guys. Got two options.
Several great grand prizes will be given,
I could either...
including free trips to NWA.
I'm trying to think of the nights I have available. But you guys are in the chat. You guys are here. I'm going to give you guys the vote. Because you are the all-star crew. You're hanging out. You're here with me. Watching Hacksaw Higgins be a big motherfucker. I could do it Friday night. Or I could do it Sunday before Revolution.
Hacksaw Higgins, on the other hand, is a individual that likes to wrestle with straight power. So
I'm going to throw it out to you all.
Eddie Gilbert, in my estimation,
Friday says Green Boy.
He's got to get this big guy right here off his feet and wrestle him.
Precisely.
Friday night. A lot of Friday nights. I've seen Fridays. Okay, I think we're going to go off the grid Friday.
Exactly right. He needs to get him off his feet as quickly as he can.
Yeah, Friday night. He won Sunday afternoon. I know I feel bad.
And Gilbert held on to that side headlock very tenaciously as Higgins trying to shoot him off.
Right, I don't, competing with SmackDown, I've found that for some reason, watching old wrestling online, oh my God, just got thrown. You lose a lot more audience going up against AEW than you do WWE, even though there are more people watching WWE.
He's encouraging the fans.
A couple Sundays, a lot of Fridays.
Because I'm sure he's not used to getting any type of ovation.
I would certainly agree with that. I got to say this about Gilbert.
Hacksaw Higgins looking pretty sexy.
He's a great technician, but he's a psychological warfare master as well.
Hey, Seinfeld, welcome,
Eddie
welcome.
Gilbert, former pro wrestling rookie of the year. And as Gordon mentioned, the second-generation wrestler, his father, Tommy
A couple
Gilbert,
more Fridays popping in.
competitor in his own right. Gilbert blocked the attempted slam. And there's a clothesline. Good arm drag takeover by Hot Stuff. Oh, he got him up. Gilbert with a slam.
Yeah, no, I have to work tomorrow. Yeah. There's no way I'm doing off the grid right after this. I would not be awake. Hacksaw looking like the third Godwin. And it does. I think if the Godwin family had an Evad Sullivan.
At just the right point coming off of those ropes, planted both feet firmly in his chest and drove him out of the ring. That kind of percussion.
It is wild that Hacksaw Higgins is the one being squashed. Although Nick Patrick, the referee, have not fucked anything up so far that I've seen. That's probably where he got him from. Oliver Humperdink's Trailer Park of Love.
James E. Cornette's guest will be Theodore R. Long with Doom. That should be interesting.
I think we're going to go Friday at 9. Yeah. I believe so. I'll have to change the ad thing. But yeah, I think we're going to go Friday at 9. The Sunday is the AEW pay-per-view. God damn it, Tony Khan. No. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, people who will watch something like this are very willing to skip a WWE show. But for some reason, and I've noticed this with other channels that do like old wrestling stuff, numbers go down when Tony's running a show. Even Collision. It's weird. I don't know why the hell he won't one Saturdays in the spring. I don't know. Saturdays are so much better. This is that Hacksaw Higgins, yes, Dr. Liam.
And referee Nick Patrick really.
He was wrestling a Noki in the mid '80s. Hey, Peter Crawford, third Godwin.
That gave Gilbert a couple of
I bet if he wouldn't have retired in '91, he would have been the third Godwin.
Back up on the apron. Higgins with a big right hand.
Woo! He even does the hot collar.
Coughing there. Higgins with a big right hand blow right on the chest.
Yeah, WWE, I like the fact that they're doing pay-per-views on Saturdays, and I like the international ones because they do them at like noon. So you're done by like 3 o'clock.
Considered a favorite, but wrestling is not based strictly on size.
No, it is not, and the skills you acquire plus the mental abilities are very, very critical. As
the mental ability.
Before, wrestling is human chess, and there's a good example.
This is a very interesting quote squash match because the star is having to be tentative and scientifically wrestle around the dominant enhancement muscle.
If he can keep him on the mat, then he's going to eliminate that size factor.
Gilbert has the legs tied up of Hacksaw Higgins. Higgins' strength is when he's standing. When he can use his
Higgins' strength is when he's standing.
In this position, he's not nearly as effective. Obviously, Eddie Gilbert, being as studious as he is.
They said they want me to wrap around the pole.
Well, he realizes that.
Want me to wrap around the pole?
Yeah. Yes.
Gilbert saying something to the referee, and well, he said something about wrapping his leg around the pole. If he does that, then Higgins is really going to become immobile. Gilbert on the outside.
I love how excited people get to watch a man hit a pole with a man's leg. Hacksaw Higgins' last 2 matches were at WCW tapings as Dr. Liam, PN News, and Beautiful Bobby. You could not have more different matches.
Femoris muscles and the strongest muscles in the body. And once again, this will help keep Higgins on the mat, and I think that's exactly what Gilbert wants to try and do. Gilbert, that leg sweep, taking Higgins back down to the canvas. And there you see
what the fuck is Nick Patrick doing? Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Gilbert,
Oh, I thought he had the claw. But that would have been dope.
Well, now Higgins trying to use power here. Both men coming back to their feet, and now Higgins back possibly. Gilbert underneath. There's that quickness. 1, 2, and 3. Hot stuff.
Now, this is an actual match. It just happens to have an enhancement guy against the star. But yeah, that was an actual match. That's fun. I like that match. Good stuff. Again, whoever taped this did not fuck with
as far as the
commercials.
people are concerned, won the World Heavyweight Championship. More comments about that in just a moment. But first, let's do an update as to the condition of Sting. As you know, his patella tendon was snapped by the Horseman in an altercation in Corpus Christi, Texas. Well, that injury has now been repaired by the noted surgeon, Dr. Jim Andrews, in Birmingham,
Hey, Dr.
Alabama.
James Andrews.
Sting is now on daily therapy and continues to show improvement. But it's going to be a long haul for Sting.
I didn't know you
We're
had a
looking at
history
4
with
to
Sting
6 months
therapy.
before he's able to return to wrestling, if, in fact, he is able to do just that. Another unusual situation evolving from Wrestle Wars 90, and that's a situation between Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors and Theodore R. Long and Doom.
Dr. James Andrews has probably put together every famous athlete of the last 30 years.
I foresee some Chicago street fights between Doom and the Road Warriors before much longer. Another situation we'd like to talk about now is the fact of Lex Luger and the fact that he is the uncrowned People's Heavyweight Champion. At one point in the match, he actually had Ric Flair on the canvas for a 9 count. The referee had been knocked to one side, and consequently was unable to toll the count.
Who do I think is more drunk, Sully or Michael? Sully.
As all of you who happened to catch the
Michael
pay-per-view were able to see.
Was louder.
So, in the people's mind,
Gordon is way more of an expert at it.
The World Heavyweight Champion.
When you're good at drinking, you don't have to tell anybody.
Is that Ric Flair is not going to be able to hold off the challenge of Lex Luger much longer.
Yeah, it's pretty much Jim Andrews.
Even though he is teamed with Doom, even though he has the Horseman on his side,
he didn't need to advertise.
He has some serious problems.
It's all wrestler every 6 months.
The Andersons bent, if you will, their obsession with the Steiners is really becoming dangerous for both of the Steiners, and the Andersons have claimed they're going to break their arms. And our final note,
what type of news story is that? Could you imagine that in another sport?
This coming Monday in the Meadowlands for what will be a great night of wrestling. Every top-flight competitor in the NWA has indicated that he wants to be on hand.
Yankee Hawk there with a list of athletes.
Ric Flair, Lex Luger,
that he worked on a Who's Who.
The Road Warriors, and all of the others will be there. So make your plans to attend. That will be on April 26th.
I think Michael Hayes was willing to drink more varied things, whereas Gordon had what he liked. And again, was very good at consuming.
As I said, it's sold out to the rafters. We have, as you have already heard, a very rabid crowd here tonight. And coming up, the Rock and Roll Express.
Gordon is that he giggled at rabid.
But there are no championships on the line at this time when they wrestle the Freebirds, but a great deal of pride.
Certainly no question about that. And, of course, the competitors they have tonight are double tough. I've seen them in action many times around the country. But I will say one thing for the Rock and Roll Express. They've got that extra 10% of desire inside them, and that makes
extra 10% of desire.
Plus, ladies and gentlemen, still to come, don't go away. Ric Flair and Tommy Rich for the gold, and Jim Cornette's guest tonight in the Louisville Slugger will be Theodore R. Long and Doom.
It has to be. I'm trying to think when the hell Gordon Sully and Gene Okerlund went across paths. Like WCW in 94, 95 is the only time I can think of.
But I'll tell you what,
Gordon, Gene would have one of those all. I think they were in one of those all-nighters together.
We'll be telling you a little bit later in this segment.
All-nighter, yes. Green Boy got it.
Enter Kids 12 and under. Our Sting coloring contest.
Oh man, I feel your pain, Yankee Hawk. I'm sorry.
We'll have that information for you at the conclusion of this segment of the NWA Wrestling Power Hour. So I suggest that you get your pencil and paper handy. We're ready for more action. The Rock and Roll Express will be making their way to the ring momentarily. Let's go back up to Gary.
Ooh, 2 for 2, Bob Cook.
Tag team event. It is set for one fall.
This time, instead of
team number 1 in the ring,
the Master from Male Gigolo, Paul Drake, he's teaming with Nasty Ned, who's looking so young. Nasty Ned Brady. Bob Cook, who's looking good here, looking very handsome. Looking handsome, looking tan. That strap is looking a little much. The white strap on the black singlet. I don't like that. Cook went to the barber and said, "Give me the Ted DiBiase." So Ricky's still kind of dressing like Ricky Morton here. Robert's kind of got like a Bill and Ted, like a Rufus looking jacket. Yeah, it's like once January 1st, 1990 hit, this act just became so outdated. And again, I say this with all the love in the world for Ricky and Robert, one of the all-time great tag teams. Nasty Ned Brady sounds like the name of a heel in an episode of an old Western. Yes. I've talked about it before on here. But for those who are new or might have forgotten, Ned Brady came up with the Repo Man gimmick. And he made the mistake of calling up the WWF office and blabbing it to J.J. Dillon to try to get a job. And J.J.'s like, "I don't want you, but I want that gimmick." And so they gave it to old Repo Man. Old fucking Barry Darcy.
Comes to the near side here and reverses the hip lock. Here comes Bob Cook.
Ned Brady has to be one of the first guys to wear a singlet with regular pants.
Thus far, and not even breathing hard yet. Superbly conditioned young man. It looks like maybe these two are going to take a hike.
Oh yeah, Therapy's got lasagna.
Really a rabid crowd here.
Everything comes back to Robinson, I'm telling you. Oh gosh, goes to What about Michael Hayes?
Robert Gibson tags in, Ricky Morton. Double elevation and a clothesline on Bob Cook. And the clothesline, Nasty Ned, then left.
Nasty Ned.
And they'll have their chance in the Omni Sunday night at 8 o'clock against their arch rival.
I love Ricky working the leg like Ned Brady's, like, I don't know, elegante.
And the crowd
rock and roll.
The Rock and Roll Express. They have got absolutely 100% of the people here with them all the way.
Indeed they do, and fans, this is a great wrestling weekend here on TBS.
Is it?
The United States Tag Team
Jim?
Championship will be at stake when Flying Brian and the Z-Man meet the Midnight Express.
Oh, I did not know that today was Pancake Day. I did not have pancakes
that
today.
he's going to walk away with those championship belts.
I hope everybody
this
else
Saturday
did.
night. And we'll see that action at 6:05 this Saturday night. And a special report from Sting that I know you'll want to see.
A special report from Sting. Again, like he's in Bosnia.
This Saturday night, 6:05 on World Championship Wrestling. Ricky Morton back in.
I had Fazoli's for dinner.
4 times tag team champions of the world, and they have their sights set on another one. But first, they've got to dispose of the Freebirds, and that is much easier said than done.
It is indeed. Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin are indeed a dangerous.
Yeah, Sting was pretty much on TV the entire time he was hurt, because they could not go without Sting. They did not have much star power. They had some good wrestlers. They didn't have many TV draws at this time.
There's the Irish whip reversed. Gibson goes to the corner to move.
Gibson goes in the corner to move.
Moves by the Rock and Roll Express. I said we'd have that report from Sting on this Saturday night. We also will be giving you the address at the conclusion of
Sting will be reporting from the front lines of Operation Desert Storm.
Coloring contest. No purchase is necessary. Full information will be given at the end of this match. So get your pencil and paper handy. What a knee lift.
Look at Bob Cook. What a prince. Great bumps.
That wing over brought him back down again. Both Nasty Ned and Bob Cook have taken a lot of hard blows to the spinal area now.
We have a very interesting matchup for this Sunday night on the main event.
Yeah, how dare Sting not tan
Ricky Moore, it will be Robert Gibson.
for Starrcade 97. How dare he?
Match involving the Freebirds and the Rock.
See, I am very modern brand. He grabbed him for the full Nelson. I'm like, shit, Dragon Suplex.
Nice utilization of that full Nelson, as they were able to do a little double teaming there.
Cook for the ride. Solid elbow by Robert Gibson. I know one thing, the Rock and Roll Express, when they came back to the NWA, they said it was like coming home. They say you can never come home again. The Rock and Roll certainly dispute that philosophy and analogy, I would assume.
I would certainly agree with that, and they're mighty happy to be back, too, although they've been facing some real rough competition, including right now, because Cook and Nasty Ned have quite a reputation.
Hey, Fernando Guerrero, WCW, yeah. Nasty Ned Brady, yeah. Love it.
Rock and Roll Express. Nasty Ned drops a brutal knee right to the head of Robert Gibson on top. Lateral press, but Gibson kicks out. It's almost deafening in here.
Reverse Nelson.
Good right hand by Bob Cook, but Robert Gibson fights right back.
Am I pronouncing that correct? Asnot Day? I'm not good at pronouncing words. Two, and there we go. Ricky and Robert. As opposed to the Rock and Soul Express. It'd be Dwayne and Cena.
And here you see this tremendous tag team cooperation that the Rock and Roll Express are so expert at. Look at this. Perfectly executed.
Good pronouncement. Hell yeah. I'm always glad I can say something the first time without butchering it.
Fans, here's that address we were telling you about, and then we'll be back with the Louisville Slugger.
P.O. Box 739, Marietta, Georgia. If you want to send a picture of Sting to WCW.
Wars in a Chicago street fight, and the only manager that I know is even more streetwise, more sneaky, and more dirty than Paul Ellering. And I'm talking about my special guest, Theodore R. Long and Ron Simmons and Butch Reed.
I love this song. Look at that suit. That's good stuff. A fancy suit of armor from Teddy Long. Yeah, the tone of pink does look good with Jim's skin tone. I agree, Green Boy. I'm watching television. Butch, please. Also a television camera right there, too.
In the ghetto, they've lived on the streets, and I know the Road Warriors were born in a sewer, lived
Damn, Ron Simmons traps. It's like he has 3 heads.
Jim Cornette, you're a very smart man. That's why I admire your ability, because we're going to put the Road Warriors right back in the sewer, because I'm on a mission. In fact, I've got 2 missions. Now, right after Doom gets through with the Road Warriors, then I'm going to go and I'm going to take care of that.
How is it possible to be so wide?
Paul Ellering, okay?
Ron Simmons, like Butch is big, but Ron, holy shit. Like, seriously, if we would have had Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 3 Hacksaws, 1 promotion. Every Teddy promo at this time had a reference to freeing James Brown.
So what you're saying, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, is after you get finished kicking the Road Warriors, you know what, and showing everybody who the real master of the street fight is, while Theodore
Can't even say but.
Paul Ellering, you're
behind.
gonna go get James Brown.
Let me tell you something. First things is first. Understand?
First things first, James Brown.
You looking at 2 street fighters. You looking at 2 rough, rugged individuals that was balled up fighting. Had to fight just to live. You understand?
Boo!
The Road Warriors is having their little alley.
Dude, how dare you face adversity in your life? First things first is the third guy to talk. That's very pro wrestling.
So let me tell you something. Especially for you.
Yeah, Ron's built like an entire sidewall in a house. Butch is built like a partition. So very big.
Hey, we got 6 soup bones. I got 2 right here.
Well, I think that these 4
I love Teddy.
those might be chicken bones, but let me say something.
That's right, Jonathan. Yes, the Galoob figures. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed wearing sweats and sneakers. Nobody at Galoob was like, this looks weird.
You got the streets mixed up. Our idea of the streets are not riding down the major highway to avoid traffic and to avoid danger.
Yeah, Ron is by far the better promo of these two.
For 3 people when you had 9 people in the family and it was cold.
Yeah, there's pro wrestling promos. There has to be a promo that's somewhere out there that's just those phrases and not on purpose either. First things first, let me tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one thing only. One and one thing only.
Wish everybody love, peace, and soul.
What a wild end to that promo. Jim Cornette with his Soul Train reference. Oh, we're getting a Ric Flair match.
But that man, in my estimation, at Wrestle War on February 25th,
Ric Flair and Tommy Rich.
extremely fortunate to leave the ring with his title after the beating that Lex Luger
And of course, Nick Patrick's the referee. Ugh. Yeah, Bret Hart, you know what? You know what, McMahon? Another thing.
However, I must admit that the champion coming back this soon and putting his title on the line.
Who owns that? Does Conrad own that robe?
I
could just ask him. Literally just retweeted something I said. I should just DM him. Take a picture of the screen. Hey Conrad, do you own this?
We'll be hearing from Ric Flair.
Also, R.I.P. Peter Engel. Peter Engel passed away today. The mastermind behind the Saved by the Bell verse.
Flair will defend the most coveted prize in the sport Sunday night in the Omni, by the way.
Hello, Hippie Kaye. Thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. And I'm loving all the new folks coming in tonight. I got a comment today. Like, it kind of bugged me because I like to think I'm welcoming to new folks. Somebody reached out and was like, I don't like the way you talk about outsiders or people coming in for the first time. I'm like, brother, Flair's trunks make him look nude. Everything makes Ric Flair look nude. Ric Flair, it's going to be nude.
Flair with a side headlock on Wildfire. Tommy Rich taking him over. And Rich reverses.
Yeah, Cecil Nick's innovator in the professional world of wrestling. Professional world of wrestling.
There's where the experience of Flair pays off.
Exactly. I love having new folks here. New folks make the world go round. Yeah, outsider. Fucking Kevin Nash. No.
Another side headlock, and rips and another reverse.
I didn't let him bug me too much. I'm just, for a second, I'm like, I'm bad at a lot of things, but I like to think I'm nice to the folks that are just coming on board for the first time.
Well, I don't know what her contractual arrangement is with Ric Flair, but obviously she has to be looking at him as a
Love having new friends in here.
Flair with a good counter move, but another counter by Tommy Rich, who has that hammerlock on the arm of Ric Flair.
Yeah, Tommy Rich.
Takes the easy way out, goes to the rope.
Yeah, January 1st, 1990, like Green Boy said. That day came and Tommy Rich went from like 20-something to 58.
We hope you fans that, well, you kids especially, will enter the Sting coloring contest. If you missed the address, we'll have it for you again this Saturday night on World.
Oh my God, Tenpenny. Whoever ran the peroxide bleach industry is wrestling alone would have made them a billionaire. I appreciate that. Thank you, Yankee Hawk. Thank you all so much for. Skunky Beaumont, hello. Glad to see you checking in.
Otherwise, Flair might still be on that canvas. Flair with the advantage now.
Oh my goodness, I kind of see that, Viva Fran. Fran said, my friend says Tommy Rich looks like Chelsea Handler. I never looked at them the same way. Yeah, I see it. And now it's ruined. Now the whole thing's ruined for me too. Tommy Rich has one of the all-time great voices in wrestling. What's causing all this? Wildfire. I can't see my Tommy Rich. I can't get deep enough for Tommy Rich.
I was the most surprised guy in town when Flair aligned himself with
when Eminem broke out in '99, yes, every teenager in the world, whether they actually had hair or not, yeah, those folks made a killing.
Yeah, I'd have to go along with that.
That's a great idea, Ghost of Curtis. We need to find out what Buddy Landel was doing at this very moment. Chances are it was somewhere behind a convenience store.
Her contractual arrangements.
Look at Ric Flair doing these leapfrogs. Red Mafia 37, what's my opinion of Rick Rude in the 90s? He fucking ruled in the 90s. I think his WCW run was his best run.
Rich is trimmed down considerably.
He had the best opposition.
And he's picked up a lot of speed because of that.
But also he worked up to that level.
Tommy really came on the latter part of
and like, it is so shitty that his back went out when it did. Because he was about to have the run of runs as like an anti-hero. Like with Vader, and it would have been stopped because Hogan came in like right after. But like when him and Vader turned on each other, Rick Rude, those few weeks was so over doing the, well, he's on the babyface side, but he's pretty much a heel, like the Steve Austin thing. He dropped all the pretenses of the ravishing Rick character and was just beating dudes' asses. Cecil. By the way, hello, Steven Fingers? Seven Fingers? I apologize for butchering your name, but I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for the follow. Kate mentions doesn't have anything at this time for Buddy Landel. He finished with the USWA, but wouldn't show up in the NWA for a couple of months. I assume he was running from someone. And as Cecil said, his mom's still mad at Ric Flair for winning the '92 Rumble because she thought he was in his 60s. Seriously, Ric Flair's another guy. We don't talk about that enough. That dude hit 40 as hard as anybody ever has. Nice shot of the dent in Ric Flair's back in that plane crash. Ric Flair just got that kid arrested. How dare you touch me, child?
Driven by confidence, and I can't help but feel that Flair is driven by desperation.
I've heard other people, because I spit water in my mouth. I've heard other people compare Flair to Ted Danson, and I definitely see that. Flair hit 480 almost as hard as Arn hit 24. Truer words never been spoken by Cecil Nix.
Technician. He's not a power wrestler. Yeah, he's got to watch that.
All right, Buddy Landell was in Continental and Puerto Rico. That makes sense. Buddy's running from somebody. Of course, he's going to go to Puerto Rico.
Good tackle by Rich. Taking it right to the champion, but Flair countered with an elbow.
Hell yeah, Big Papa Pump. I holler because I hear ya. Hell yeah. Always a great night. These Tuesday nights for some classic WCW. That's right, my friend.
Flair really caught him with the elbow. That's the mark.
He hit 40 like it owed him money. And I bet he owed 40 money. Like everyone else.
Outside the ring, and now he's adding more damage. They came right at our cameraman there, and Rich went right back into the steel barricade. Tommy Rich, who looked so crisp in the early going to this match, but now it's Ric Flair, the 6-time heavyweight champion of the world, taking over. Oh, man, what a chop. He is so physical.
I love how the one kid on that 5-person Sting sign is sitting like one row behind. So it just looks like they're holding up a sign that says, it's telling the performers in the ring to belt out a song. Sing, Rick, sing. I don't know if I would say Tommy Rich is under or overrated. I don't think he deserved the rep he got as being like undeserving NWA World Champion, but I also think him getting that run so early just messed up his career. He hit the top too early. All right, Mikey says 3 days later, Buddy Landell beats Tommy Rich on main event. See, Green Boy, I thought you were saying I was kind of overrated. And I'm like, I agree with you, Green Boy. I am kind of overrated.
Working on that arm. They like to do it just like the Andersons have done to Scott Steiner, as they have vowed to break Scott Steiner's arm before their feud is said and done. Well, that's an absolute obsession with the Andersons, Ole and Arn Anderson. Well, one thing could happen here.
What the okay, I just got a Fightful email.
As quick as Tommy is,
Fightful Select says Cora Jade suffered an injury in NXT. People were speculating she aggravated a knee injury. However, it was a head injury, not a knee injury. How do you mix those up? Your head's here. Your knee's there.
She has become very assertive, not only mentally but physically in the game of the Horsemen, especially and obviously Ric Flair.
Cora Jade has hurt either her head or her knee. Doctors are still trying to figure it out.
It would be hard to speculate on what he would do in certain situations.
I haven't seen it. We've been here tonight. I'll see it as soon as I get off. Next year, we're going to get to that here in a second, goes to Burt Prentice. After this show, I actually have the teaser trailer for this coming Monday at 9. I got that queued up. Okay, Dr. Williams says, according to Cage Match, Buddy, let's see, this was taped on February 26th. Buddy Landell's Cage Match goes from December 89 in the USWA to a loss to JYD in 5-star wrestling. Is that Georgia? I think it's Georgia. JYD 5-star wrestling, April 14, 1990.
He got all of it that time. This man, along with Anderson, putting Sting on the shelf. We don't know when Sting's return will be.
Big fan of the old man wearing the teenage boy trucker hat in the front row with his arms crossed. Like,
Flair, double arm suplex.
Press me.
Where he find the leg, can he hold Rich down? Tommy kicks out.
That's the thing with Buddy Landell. Factoids, you can't just like look up. It's not like a sports game where you can just look up the score. You gotta like pull out a map, get some yarn, figure shit out, get all your aliases up to date.
And now he's pressing that advantage at every way possible.
All right, 5-star wrestling, Louisiana, says Lee. Why did he go to 12? A baker's dozen. Very amused. Everybody else stops at 10. Tommy's like, nope, 2 more.
There's a lateral press by Tommy Ridge. 2.5 again. Flair's so close to getting.
I don't know if I've told it on here before. When I was a kid, I thought it was called a literal press.
Here on TBS. Flair.
Which, I mean, I guess that makes sense. You're literally pressing your body against somebody else's.
Spinning leg lock. Tommy Ridge hits high cradle.
This is a hell of a little match.
2 and kicked out by Flair.
12 is an even number. So is 10.
Tommy may have been weakened a little bit when he dropped that weight.
Ridge, both arms cupped. Flair trying to block.
Robot overload. My boyfriend just asked how you can watch wrestling without ads for gambling. You gotta find the George Hackenschmidt footage that leaked a few months ago. That's amazing, Cecil. In 2017, this day in Cecil Nick's history, he wrestled a match that was actually just him and his opponent completely reenacting the fight scene from They Live. I assume he went way over time. Ric Flair selling the guardrail like he's been electrocuted. I love it. Yeah, these two are having a hell of a match. This is real exciting. Somehow Buddy Landell's on the run from FanDuel. I love that I've trained my son Noli that anytime a DraftKings ad comes on wrestling, he will scream, "It's a scam! Scam!"
Now he has it. Now he has it. Woman's trying to grab Rich's foot.
That's awesome, friend. So a match where they reenacted the Thunder Lips Rocky scene.
We may see another kind of a match. We may see another kind of a match here.
Patrick is like, she is allowed to interfere.
Tommy Ridge up and over.
If you're on TV, don't pull down the pants. Hey, Bravo, woman on woman, what you wearing me now? I saw a blurb from like years ago where Meltzer was like, it makes Ric Flair look like a dweeb to say that. Fuck you.
Flair caught him coming in, and that's where Tommy...
His haircuts made Ric Flair look like a dweeb.
There's that vertical block.
Not that.
There's press 1, 2. He got out of it. Flair kicked out of it. What an uncanny move to get
I love the Thez press. I love the Thez press without the punches.
Rich's foot's on the rope. Flair takes it off.
That was awkward.
Yes, it is. Flair.
Look, Nick Patrick sucks. Nick Patrick's the worst. All my homies hate Nick Patrick. The dark match on this show was Road Warriors versus Doom. Hell yeah. So much testosterone in that ring. Most of it synthetic. Why is Ric Flair cutting a promo on the cops? Ric Flair probably loved the cops.
Now let's take a look and see if we can catch it.
What the hell just happened?
Surrounding Ole Anderson's recruitment of a new team.
Alright, I think the next episode started and I didn't even realize it. Okay, so before we get started with the third and final of the evening, as I teased a moment ago, with Ghost of Burt Prentice. Again, it looks like Off the Grid's going to be Friday. So just 3 days from now. Because my dumbass didn't realize it was AEW pay-per-view weekend. So yeah, it'll be Friday this week. And then Monday, because I cannot be here Tuesday next week, Monday at 9, WCW Deep Cuts Live will be this.
It looks like once again we have entered into the land of Slapnut Country.
Surrounding Ole
Anderson's
Anderson's recruitment of a new team to go
turn
after
this
the
up just a
signers.
little
Do you have
bit.
any idea who this new team is?
No, frankly, I don't. And I just wonder if he's going to make that revelation later on tonight in the Louisville Sluggers corner, because I'm very curious.
Wow, absolutely as loud as I can get it.
The Andersons are hot on the trail of the Steiners.
So yeah, next week, this coming Monday, going back to the year 2000,
in the program on the
and we will have a Jeff Jarrett match.
Also,
Jeff Jarrett, of course, just joined the advisory board for Acclaim today. Because that's a thing that needed to happen.
Luger will never be the world's champion. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I've got some
I
comments
love Jeff.
coming on that. On our
as I posted earlier today, he has the
frankly,
financial portfolio
of
that kid
wins,
from
which I think he
Blank
will
Check.
And you won't
Pro
be able to call it
wrestling.
an upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk more about that
Minor League
situation
Baseball.
throughout the hour. Plus, we're going to talk about
Gold.
In the news a little bit about this very
Video
violent
games.
situation involving Doom and the Road Warriors. I say Doom may end the Road Warriors' unbeaten streak in the street fights.
I'd have to go along with that. After all, you might say
Guitars,
Doom grew up in the
that's
street,
right.
so to speak, with Teddy Long.
Think if Zach Morris was a
It's just going to be a
millionaire.
remarkable thing to see as it occurs.
Let's go to the ring fans and the Royal family.
There we go, the Royal Family with Lord Littlebrook
Wrestling fans are following
against the
contest
Italian
is number 1
Stallion,
introducing
who the
first from
Chiron
Naples, Italy.
operator
This
could
is
not
the
spell his
Italian
name,
Stallion.
and Joe Cruz,
His partners from Hickory,
the
North
world record
Carolina,
holder for
Joe
most spaghetti
Cruz.
eaten in, I believe, a half hour, and Joe Cruz, who
Led to the ring by Lord
genuinely
Littlebrook.
looks
He
like a
brings
criminal.
us from the Queen's Court, Rip Morgan and Jocko Victory, the Royal Family.
I have a soft spot for the Royal Family.
And the Royal family make their way to the ring.
This is so fucking
Lord
silly.
Littlebrook. Gordon, we do have indeed a great program for everyone here.
Jack
on the
Victory,
Power
as
Hour.
he
And
turned
this
his back on
team, since they have been
America,
under the managerial
and
efforts of Lord Littlebrook, have
he
certainly
joined a
had very
militia
solid
in New
one-loss record.
Zealand, and then somehow became royalty. Yeah, Jack Victory in ECW. High spot. And their manager was Lord Littlebrook.
Lord Littlebrook taunting this crowd here in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Yep, he's the Lord Littlebrook's doing it. High spot.
Fans, we talked about the situation
Peter
involving
Dinklage.
the Horseman's conquest,
Sorry, you broke me.
attempted conquest of the World Tag Team Championship, and we will
Peter
be hearing more
Dinklage.
about that because Jim
Oh,
Barnett,
gosh.
the Louisville Slugger, will have Arn Anderson.
The music
and
with
I
the
think we'll
Wild
find out a lot more about this
Stallions.
situation.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Arn Anderson's definitely going to be out of action for a while.
Jack Victory was Secret Service a year before this. Turned his back on America, joined a militia in New Zealand, and then
for this upcoming event. Interestingly, we'll be seeing a lot
became
of tag
royalty.
team action during this.
Hey,
We
LJH.
certainly will. The Wild
Good
Samoans
evening.
will be here as well. Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack to make Tommy
Yeah, it is
Wildfire Rich and
hilarious.
Brandon Ross.
These guys came out looking so
That should be a
fancy and
tremendous event.
sparkly,
Certainly should.
and then they take the robes
That's
off
why
and
we
they're
have
just
a
wearing
chance here. I
black
want to remind
tights, or
everyone
black
that this
trunks
Saturday night,
and
the
tights.
NWA will be in Daytona Beach at the
Lord
Ocean
Littlebrook, the
Center.
assistant trailer park
Lord, we're
manager
expecting a
of the
great crowd, not
Humperdink
only this
Love
Saturday night in
Bar.
Daytona, but also this Sunday night. You and I will be in Miami at the FIU Arena starting at 7 o'clock.
Oh, I
Sunday
didn't.
night.
Two of Lord Littlebrook's sons were in half pint brawlers with Puppet. Was Bobby Dean one of them?
Outstanding young competitor
A little karate kid.
with his partner, the Italian Stallion,
That one of
challenging
them?
the Royal family. I think this should be a very
I think this was
competitive
a Ric Flair idea.
Well, the edge might go to Littlebrook's team here simply because of Littlebrook himself.
Collar and elbow tie up,
Other than
and
Kane, who's had the
Jacko
weirdest
Victory
kayfabe life.
did not break
I mean,
clean, not
Undertaker.
surprisingly, though.
Pretty fucking weird.
Sends Cruz for the ride to the far side. and
Little
comes back.
Kane hit him,
And
beautiful
Cruz
Bobby.
high cross
Okay,
body.
beautiful Bobby Dean. That's what I
Referee
was.
Mike Atkins got two out of it at
Okay,
the end of
yeah.
it. Could we
I was
assume
somewhat
that
close.
Jacko Victory and Rick
Lord Littlebrook
Morgan
is
might be just a
61.
little more confident in this contest?
I think so. I also think maybe Cruz is over.
Well, that's not a pretty word, kayfabe
That
life.
stunning upset if he can, and of course that would catapult him and the Stallion into some form of contention for either
That's
the
a good
US or
point.
the
See,
World
so
Tag
yes,
title.
in mystery wrestling lore, London Lightning, up and coming Canadian wrestling star, had to eventually travel back in time and die.
A two-time AAU national
That's pretty
champion
weird.
in the amateurs. And Jacko Victory quickly tagging in
Gimmick to
big
gimmick,
Rick
you
Morgan.
mean? I make weird
Morgan,
mouth noises when I'm thinking.
Slowed down there by the wrist lock of the Italian Stallion. Man, there's so much to talk about. I know that Gordon's
Matt Bourne, he was a clown, he was a lumberjack. Barry Darsow, definitely Barry Darsow. He was a golfer that was also an S&M pervert, who also repossessed things. He might have just been stealing them.
And Lord Littlebrook up in the arms of Jacko Victory.
Nash was, that's true, Kevin Nash at one point was a truck, and then he was an actual,
He's not above a lot, as a matter of fact. As short
I
as
don't know
he
if
is,
it's
but
Island,
he's certainly not
whatever
above
Oz is.
bending the rules and using that cane to his advantage if necessary.
Ed Leslie, of course.
He's been known to do it on
He
several
was a
occasions,
Zodiac.
and they broke
He was a barber. He was a butt guy. He was Hulk Hogan's brother.
Power slam by the Italian Stallion.
Mike Adkins trying to be a good referee, get into place there. Yes, he was a stripper. That's right. Because he was originally a stripper.
He gave him that extra second to breathe when he
Oh, that's cool, Red Mafia.
that elbow on him, and that gave.
I love when people watch WCW. It's the best.
The Italian Stallion, not known for his aerial technique. Effective there, however, with a double axe handle.
That's right. Ed Leslie was also Furface, aka the Mystery Man,
Morgan, a very powerful competitor.
because he needed something over his metal-plated face.
Missed with a clothesline.
Mike Rotundo was a.
By Jacko Victory.
That is. I mean, that one kind of makes sense though. You want, if you're a millionaire, a very rich man in the stocks like Michael Wall Street, you need to get 1 foot into the Internal Revenue Service.
Another percussion to the back.
Protect your money
The
from
Italian
those damn
Stallion is
feds.
somewhat worse for wear at this point in time.
I mean, that one's logical, especially when he got into business with Ted DiBiase.
Has to say about his new team.
I love that move. That move's not even like anything remotely legal. Just punched him in the throat. I've heard that quite a bit, Ninja Tyler Black. A number of people have said that they put on the YouTube VODs to go to sleep.
Morgan tags in Jacko Victory in the Irish whip by the Italian Stallion. Or on the Italian Stallion.
Viscera, yeah. Oh shit. He was a rapper, and then he was a Satanist, and then he just loved sex so much.
Fans, it's a big week, as we said. We're going to be in the Sunshine State this Saturday night in Daytona at the Ocean Center.
Midian.
This Sunday night in Miami at the Florida International University Arena.
Hog farmer, and then a Satanist, and then a Satanist who liked to fuck farm animals, and then a nudist, and also in there before all of that, he was a cowboy.
The St. Lucie Civic Center is a beautiful building, it really is, and great folks down in Fort Pierce. Now some trouble here for the Italian Stallion now as they did some double.
Oh yeah, I think if you look into Mike Rotunda kayfabe lore, he probably had the money before. He had a damn boat. He didn't just get the money when he became Michael Wall Street. Come on, he got a damn yacht. Like, he's a boat guy. You don't get a boat and be making $33,000 a year. No. That's right, Albert. He straight up changed races at one point when he became Tensai. And he's like, fuck, I am Japanese now. And then he became not Japanese and just loved to dance. He won the boat in a well, but he's from a rich family. If you have a relative with a boat, there's money somewhere close to you. Ninja Tyler Black thought that what was it, Doc Holliday was Hitler? The tattoo on Midian's arm? No, that's DOA that deserved your hate. Yeah, they're chanting USA to support the Italian. I guess Joe Cruz. Joe Cruz is American.
Their own lack of strategy, their own lack of pre-match planning.
And as Ghost of Burt Prentice brought up a few minutes ago, I love that a guy with Jack Victory's haircut here could be considered royalty. That's right, Phineas was at one point Jeff Jarrett's bodyguard, kind of doing like Ron and Don Harris's shoot gimmick, because they were Sawyer Brown's bodyguards at one point. I got him! I love putting a guy in the chin lock. No, I got him!
From that right now. Fans, I want to remind you that the Wrestling Hotline has new programming each and every day. And we hope you'll call the hotline this Saturday night, especially I'll
Yes, Princess Diana absolutely had that haircut. So that makes sense. Brian Adams, he went from being an S&M pervert to... That's what Demolition is, really. They were perverts. And then he became a guy who just loved smashing things.
Italian Stallion going downstairs, but Jacko Victory is a tough
and then he became a criminal, and then a biker who might have been racist. I'm pretty sure that the overtones were they were a white supremacist biker gang. And then he was just himself. And then he was just himself, but he loved smoking weed with his other friend Brian. Johnny Pole. See, I can't say Raven because Raven, I brought it up before, he tied all the gimmicks together. Like, it's all one personality. And it kind of does make sense that in the mid-90s when he lost his job, he got depressed and became a drug addict. Like, it would make sense that Johnny Polo in the mid-90s would become Raven. Hey, Oprah 75, hello.
They used to lose it right here by not following up. That was
Stevie's a good one.
There's a tag, and they tag it in very quickly in this contest.
How the fuck wasn't Croddock's finish called the Hacky Sack? Brian brings up a great point. Do not trust two guys named Brian that only like smoking weed. Oh, hey, the royal family won.
Royal family here on the Power Hour. There you see Lord Littlebrook with those size 3.
Godfather was Bob Orton's confidant way before he went with the sex work industry. Bobaruski, hello. Thank you so much for the follow. Glad to have you.
Some quick double teaming here by the Royal
quick double
family.
Teaming.
Enough to put Mr. Cruz away.
I love
for
watching
the count.
quick double
Certainly
teaming.
no question about
my favorite type of
superiority in
videos.
this match. Fans, we'll be back. The Wrestling News Network is next on TBS.
What is Gordon Solie going to mumble this week? WWN, because they couldn't get permission from the other company that Turner owned, should just call it CNN Wrestling.
Hello, everyone. The Wrestling News
Brian
Network
Adams,
this week
ninja,
returns
pervert,
two things.
Hawaiian,
Injuries
Japanese
in the
sympathizer,
NWA,
forgot that one,
and Lex
gang
Luger's
member,
quest for the
biker,
NWA World
kissed
Heavyweight
demon for like a
Championship.
week,
First of all,
pothead,
let us tell you right now
then
that
he went to
during
developmental and
WrestleWars
became
90,
the
Arn
booker.
Anderson suffered a herniated disc in his neck. He is being currently treated by Dr. Fred Allman, and his recovery is expected, but it's going to take a while. We'll have more information from Ole Anderson during the Louisville Slugger segment with Jim Cornette later in the program. Now,
Can you imagine
Pillman
Dave
has been
Meltzer
injured by
hosting
the
this?
Midnight Express, headed up, of course, by Jim Cornette. I'd like to take just a moment.
I'd like to say, well, it's, it's things like, Hurt,
this past Saturday night on World Championship Wrestling.
And it's like one of those things, Brian, where he like hurt his leg, I think his knee, and then his dog comes into
Brian Pillman injured,
view.
and of course Jim Cornette rather ecstatic because he feels very confident
He did say the Louisville Slugger segment. Yes, it was Jim Cornette's interview segment.
Sting is still receiving thousands and thousands of cards per week, urging his quick recovery.
Thousands and thousands per week. Imagine how annoying that must be
We certainly add our
for the
best
mailman.
wishes to Sting. He was operated on by Dr. Jim Andrews, of the Birmingham Sports Clinic in Birmingham, Alabama, and is now undergoing therapy. Well, Luger is getting closer. There's no question about it. Luger is the man of the future. He's the man of the 90s. Regardless of what
the
anyone
man
says
of the
about
90s.
Fantastic record.
Poor guy. Yeah,
of
Meltzer
Ric
would
Flair,
find a
the
way
current
to
NWA champion. It looks to me
bring up little Richard
like
Brown.
Luger is the irresistible force, but he may be meeting the immovable object. Let's take a look at Luger and Ric Flair in Wrestle Wars 90s, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Wrestle War 90s. Gordon just renaming the pay-per-view.
Executes that judo chop like the
That judo chop. Again. I am so happy.
And so Lex
What the
Luger
point?
once
What was the
again
point of
denied,
that?
His grasp at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
What even was it? They did nothing.
Deny this great
He
young
chops
athlete's
him,
quest for the title.
and that's
Only
the clip.
time will tell. Turning back to our injury list right now, Tommy Young, our senior referee,
Tommy Young.
our top official in the NWA,
Call him
continues
Tommy
to recover
Young?
from neck surgery
Like
that
the
he
Samoan?
had as a result of an injury in the
The
ring.
point was to show
On his
that
feet,
Colt
moving
Sullivan
around,
take a
but it's
shot.
still undetermined as to when he will return to the sport.
He's
Sid
building
Vicious
shot
continues to
breaks into
improve
his
and is
copy.
working out daily, and Mean Mark is currently on tour
Yeah, that Tommy
in
Young
Japan,
injury was weird.
representing
And they
the
aired it
NWA with
too,
an
even though the
undefeated
lights went
record
out.
thus far.
Shit.
And that's the World Wrestling Network news for this week.
Oh, hell yeah, more Samoans. Not even pretend. Well, Samoans without a manager.
Back everyone to the Power Hour here on
Oliver
TBS.
Humperdink got
Just a few
lost
moments, we're
on the
gonna
way to the
take a look at
building.
The Wild Samoans, a different combination for the Samoans. I find it most interesting. They're having a lot of problems keeping a manager.
Yeah, they are. They're such rugged individualists that they like.
I don't
to
think
do
it's that
their
they're
own
rugged. I
thinking. They
think
don't
it's
like to have
that
somebody
Oliver
else from
Humperdink
both,
was
the
drunk.
mainland, if you will, telling them what to do.
Two big 300-pounders, Fatu and the Samoan Savage, are brothers.
All right, this
They
is
do think
Fatu and
as one,
Tama.
I
Fatu
really
and
believe that
Tonga
they are
Kid.
bona fide title threats to the Steiners.
No question about that. And on top of that, they move like 140 pounders. That's the amazing thing about
140
them. Their early
pounders.
training early on in life gives them a tremendous advantage in the ring.
Fans still to come now. Don't forget that special Louisville Slugger with Ole Anderson with Jim Cornette.
Ole
We're waiting on
Anderson.
some announcements regarding the team that Anderson has recruited.
Again, that
to
looks
take
like
on
a
the
toy
Steiners.
microphone.
We'll talk about that a little bit later in the broadcast, but right now let's go back to the ring. The Samoans will be in action.
Mike Hart and Jerry Price.
No question about that, and I just wonder if he's going to come out and admit
Jim
anything,
was
or
like,
if he's
Gordon,
gonna try and play a cat and mouse game with everybody.
We're on TV. You
Particularly,
can't
I think, with the Steiners.
do it after, like I do.
The Samoans are big and they are bad, and certainly taunting this crowd, but this is one duo that I say, and I have said before.
And this is the period where you never knew which two of the three would show up, like as a shoot.
At some point in the near future.
I heartily concur with that, and obviously this will give us a chance. They have a close relationship. They are brothers. Big, powerful men. By the way, a new feature starting on Tuesday night, too, on the 900.
U.S. Hart A.
Mat Watch with Steve Beverly, which should prove to be very interesting.
That will be the Savage starting out against Mike
I don't think
Hart.
either, Fatu's certainly not Rowan's dad. I don't think
These
either
guys
of
are
them
very
are.
brutal. They like to walk the top rope.
Again, I'm not great on
They
my
have great agility.
Samoan family
And they
tree.
will take a chance, and you don't see
Crashly 5000 with the answer.
that fly like these two
No.
big guys do.
Well, of course, since birth, you know, in the Samoan Islands, of course, you got these youngsters. Who
Yes, I believe
learn
Mike
from,
Hart is
very
Roman's
early
dad.
age, going up and down those palm trees and all. And they have some extraordinary athletic development at a very early age.
He's the
Collar elbow tie.
tribal
Mike
chief
Hart,
of the
nice duck
bloodline
under,
of
and
this
he's got a
time, Mike Hart.
hammerlock on the Savage here. And you notice that these Samoans do not have the kahuna at ringside. I mentioned some weeks back that
Ghost of Burt Prentice doing
problems in the past,
busting out
taking
some great comments.
advice. Paulie dangerously tried to manage
Definitely
these guys.
agree.
That was unsuccessul.
Yeah, Roman's dad was
Kahuna tried to
Sika,
get
thank
them in
you.
line. That has been unsuccessful.
I thought he
They
was
do not
Sika,
take,
but
guidance very well.
yeah, the
from-
great Kahuna,
from the
Oliver
establishment,
Humperdink
so to
at
speak.
ringside, is not there.
Double chop there by the Samoans. The Sons of Samoa, as they are referring to themselves now.
The Sons of Samoa is a pretty
Fatu
sick
there.
tag team now.
Slapping Mike Hart in the face.
Sika is the brother of the
Highly
Rock's
rugged,
mother.
individualistic individuals is the only way you can describe these Samoans.
All I know is I'm Mike Green's son. Anybody else's family tree, I
Editor Dennis
give
Brett
up.
of the Wrestling Wrap.
That guy just wearing
Trying to
pants,
do an in-depth story with the Samoans. Found it very
like
challenging.
actual
I don't know if
pants.
that'll be
No,
the
he's
next
wearing
issue of the
tights.
Wrestling
Okay.
Wrap-Up or
I
not.
can tell now.
The
I thought I saw like a
official
fly and a
World
belt.
Championship Wrestling. I don't think I want to be the guy to interview them anyway.
Amen.
Jerry Price with a cross body.
That's Jerry Price.
Very.
He's a
Jerry
regular
Price tried
enhancement
to get a
guy.
pinning predicament there. Now the Samoans complain that their hair was pulled. Jerry Price, from my vantage point, Gordon didn't pull any hair.
Sika's
he
the
certainly
son of
didn't,
Peter
but,
Maivia.
Again, did you notice the tremendous upper body strength of these Samoans? He powered him off.
Nick Patrick
like he
is
was,
a son of a
dozen
bitch.
eggs.
You know, the Steiners have their problems with
That's
the
mean.
Andersons, or with whomever the
Yeah.
Andersons may have recruited. We'll know more about that this Sunday on the main event.
Everybody's got a Jerry
But,
Price.
I would
Putting
love to
Bob
see a
Cook, that's why he
matchup
got the
of
Ted
Wild
DiBiase
Samoans and the
haircut.
Steiners, for that matter, for the World Tag Title. What a physical match that would be. That would be one you'd want to sit at ringside and just kind of...
Also, the Samoans are giving these guys way more than they gave the last
The only
team.
thing I think could rival that would be the Chicago street fight.
Tonka Kid, aka Samoan
Doom and the
Savage,
Road
is
Warriors,
Jacob
and I'll
Fatu's
tell you what,
dad.
this,
And of course, Fatu
this
is...
KDB Long
I knew
gotta be
Fatu
careful
is the
with some of the
father of the
comments he's
Usos
making
and
about Paul
Solo
Ellering.
Sikoa. They only mention
Sugar Ray
Rikishi
Long,
every
he says
fucking
he
time
is.
they're on TV.
Well,
Whereas they
Paul
don't do
Ellering
it
is a
so much
former
with the other ones, I feel
world-class
like.
powerlifter, a great athlete in his own right.
Like, I don't... Like, Sika was there for
He's
the
managing
when
by
Roman
choice,
got the
not out of
Ulafala.
He still is capable of wrestling.
Otherwise, I'd
He
never
just has
remember who
chosen not
Roman's
to.
dad was.
Nice leapfrog there by... Whoa,
And like they
Jack,
don't
great
ever...
move
I don't think
there.
they ever talk about
Jerry
the Jacob
Price
stuff.
elevated there by Fatu, who goes to the
Even
far
though I
side
believe he's
and
still
nails
alive.
Price.
Oh, gosh.
Jerry
Oh,
Price
he tried to jump again.
hammered with
Oh,
a
no.
clothesline right up against the ropes. And Fatu, so big and so strong. These guys have... Their feet are weapons, for that matter. Tag made. There's the exchange. And the Savage, Samoan Savage in there. What are we going to
Jerry Price is about to get hurt.
Get some momentum. There's a close
Oh, not so
line.
much. It looked a lot
They like
less.
high-impact maneuvers.
A lot more
They
safe.
do indeed,
Not,
and I think right now
I
Price
was gonna
wishes
say
he
a
was
lot
down
more
the street
unsafe.
somewhere.
A lot safer.
Jerry Price being manhandled by the Samoan Savage.
Yeah, there are points, and that's another confusing thing about the Samoan tree is like
Very
there are
unorthodox team.
cousins and
They intimidate
brothers.
a lot of people.
Well, I was just going to say that not only are there physical
In the same way that,
attributes
like,
intimidating,
Your kids call your best friend
but they
uncle and
are,
aunt, you know?
such savage
Oh, jeez, got him right in the
individuals
jaw.
from standpoint of their behavior that they have to intimidate you both physically and psychologically.
There was a karate thrust kick, and Jerry Price thrown right over the rail into the front row of ringside.
Yeah,
here.
Gary, fucking Nick Patrick.
Jerry Price may
Exactly,
have
like
trouble
Uncle
getting back
Marty.
into the ring. And they take liberties. Physical
Well, he
liberties.
didn't even look what the sign said. It could have
And
said,
just
like,
Lex
Jerry
Luger was
Price is
counted out
great.
at Wrestle War, these two men right here are in danger of getting counted out. Nick Patrick, one of the finest officials in all of professional wrestling, just doing his job
Yeah,
here.
Deuce.
Since
Deuce is
Price
part of the
arrived.
Samoan tree somehow.
And there's a power slam.
Deuce Shade. As opposed to the deuce that Nick Patrick drops in the ring every time he's assigned a match.
And that's not only for Price. They know they've got him whipped. It's for future opponents that they're looking at.
Every wrestler with bleached blonde hair is a holly.
Double headbutt by the Samoans. They're known for their extremely hard heads. And Price
Yep, you put
thrown,
that poster board between the
mercifully
guy's
back into the
face
corner.
and fist.
Mike
Yeah,
Hart
it's like a concussion.
tagged in and it slapped around.
Yeah, no, that was the thing with Alpha and Sika. Was in San Francisco, I believe.
And again, here it's not a
Is
question of
they
will
would get
they be,
mad
when they're gonna be.
at Peter Maivia's opponents because they were so big and so strong, they would like hurt the wrestlers. And the wrestlers are like, fuck, we have to get these guys smart enough. So they trained them, otherwise they were going to get killed walking to the locker room.
Fatu now, will he hold him down? Well, that's really getting frustrating.
Well, I would imagine here that Nick Patrick is only going to put up with so much of this. And
Bullshit, he's going to put up
and the
with
Samoans
so
might
much.
find themselves
He's going to let them do
possibly
everything.
disqualified.
Powerful slam there. And here comes the
Oh, I thought he was going to do a moonsault. I was going to lose my mind.
cross from the second rope. Put him out of his
Hey, Nick, just
mercy,
squeeze
and he
yourself
refuses
in
to
the
do it again.
smallest part of the ring possible. Yes, Nick Patrick is wearing a watch, and I bet it
Well, it's
doesn't
within
work
his
because
rights,
Nick
but,
Patrick.
he is certainly making a tremendous example out of these.
Way to
two
just
youngsters.
completely kill any sort of fear and tension for the Samoan Savage by like putting your hand on his shoulder and berating him in his
Really
face.
ineffective right now. Samoan just caught him with that knee left right to the face.
God, he sucks.
Hart's chest is a beat
Exactly.
red.
Even
We've been
drunk
fevered
ass
there by these
Gordon
two months.
Soley was like, "This is Nick Patrick. What is he doing?"
Karate kick right to the chest. Then another tag. Well, Mike Hart may never see the light of day now.
Now, those eyes rolled skyward just then, and he's got him down. And again, now he's
Again, Nick,
taking this
fuck
too
you.
far.
They certainly are, and the referee just told us, I'm not warning you guys
We get
again.
it. You have a watch. Stop
Hart
showing it
tags,
off. All the pointing.
and Jerry Price, and Jerry Price sent for the
Also,
ride.
shout out to my SSRI gang. I'm going to take my meds.
Slam. That was a dynamic move.
So I can go to
These
sleep
guys have got uncanny agility as we
when
said.
we're
There's
done
the
here.
tag.
About
It will be the
a little over
Samoan
15
Savage
minutes
on the top
left.
rope.
Ah!
Man, I'll tell you, that big splash right off the top. The Samoans are really on a roll.
Here are your winners, the new Sons
There are
of
your winners.
Ah.
The meeting of the mouths.
To have as a guest a man who's a legend in professional wrestling. He's held part of the World Tag Team Championship many times.
Part of
he
it.
is the leader
He
in spirit
held 10%
of
of
the
it.
horsemen of professional wrestling, and in
Yeah,
addition,
if you say meeting
he's
of the
one
mouths, it sounds like they're going to
the
French.
cruelest, the most evil men that I have ever known. Ladies and gentlemen, Ole Anderson.
Speaking of baseball dads, talking about Kevin Sullivan before.
Ole, I'd like to apologize for the lack of class that these people have shown in not giving you the proper
The connection
welcome
between
to
the
Louisville
Fatus and
Slugger.
Alpha and Sika's,
But
their
you know,
father
I asked the
married
tough
Alpha and
questions. I want to ask
Sika's
one right off the bat. I've heard that there's
Thank you,
been an
Dr. Liam,
injury
as always.
to Arn, and I want to know how that's going to affect your vendetta against those.
Ole's hairline is
brothers.
interesting.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure
Because he's balding, but he also has a tuft of hair that's like way lower down on his forehead than it should be.
But I'll tell you this.
Like an
Nobody
island unto
stops
itself.
The Andersons, nobody stops the Horsemen, not even the Steiners. If you want to go back a little bit, maybe you'll remember one time something happened to Gene. Well, the most
I love all the
important thing
7-year-olds watching. Who the
to
fuck
keep
is
those
Gene?
world
Why did you hurt Mean
So
Gene?
somebody had to be expendable.
Well, now, wait a minute. You talk about somebody being expendable. I remember when Gene was injured, and I remember how it happened. You want to tell the people exactly who injured Gene?
Well, I don't think it makes any difference who. I think.
Come on, Ole.
Gene Anderson was
sacrificed
like 20
your
years
own
before this.
brother to win the World Tag Team Championship. That's exactly what you did.
Hey, you make it sound a little bit different. This is what I want everybody to understand. Yes, I did sacrifice Gene, but we understood when we went in that match that the most important thing, once again, were those World Tag Team belts. And
Yeah,
right
like
now,
the majority of the
I
wrestling
also
audience at this point is like
the most
children.
important thing is the tag
And Ole's
team
like,
belts.
hey, remember this
The tag team
thing I did
belts
in like
happen to be on
1974?
Steiners. Now, it's not my
Where I
fault
killed
that
my
Steiners
brother.
Still have them, but it's going to be Steiner's fault.
All right, Stephen J.
when they
Neptune
get
Man
beat.
coming in the
And I
clutch
don't
this week in
mean
sports
just get
history,
beat,
March
because
16,
anybody can go out and run a race and
1990.
get
The
beat.
Pistons beat
When
the
you're in
Bulls
wrestling,
106-81.
there's more to it than just getting
MJ
beat.
scored 20
Steiners,
points. Isaiah
right
Thomas
now,
scored
you
18.
start with that
We were
arm.
in day 29 of the 1990
Pretty
Major
soon
League
that
Baseball
arm is gonna be
lockout that would end on March
absolutely
19th.
useless. Then we
The
go
number
to
one
the
movie in
other
America
arm.
was The Hunt for
And
Red
then maybe
October,
we
and the
go
number
to
one
an eye.
song was Escapade
I
by
know
Janet
a lot of
Jackson.
people make threats. I know there's people out there all day long talk about what they can do. Well, you look at me. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. I've never told a lie in my life, and I'm not going to tell one now.
He has been
Those
gone
belts
for
to
a
me
year.
are more important than life itself. And Steiners, we're going to take them from you.
There you have it, Ole Anderson and Steiners. I wouldn't be in
Ole
your
sounded
shoes
old
for
when he was
anything,
young.
because when this man
Another
says
guy
something,
who
you can
was
believe it.
born with a swollen prostate. Oh, more Cactus Jack against Ranger Ross. Hell yeah. I believe that is, it's tag match. I believe that's our main event.
Team main event action. Deranged duo Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack meet the slightly less than sane Norman.
That is a
And Captain Mike
sweet
Rotunda.
hot tag
Plus, an update
pump
on
up.
Sting.
It's like whipping your belly out.
World Championship Wrestling, 6:05 Eastern on TBS
Oh,
tomorrow.
In the ring from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, this is Cactus Jack.
There's his Cactus
From
Jack.
Boston, Massachusetts, Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan was adorable little ponytail.
Worth, Georgia, a true
Look
American
at that jacket on Tommy Rich. Holy shit.
And his tag team partner is from Atlanta, Georgia. This is
Look at that man.
Tommy Rich.
That is a guy
Wildfire Tommy
who
Rich
dances
and
at the
Ranger
Pink
Ross.
Pony Club.
The Georgia team to take
We
on
can all
Cactus
be
Jack.
queens.
There you see him. He's just a little bit weird.
Yes,
That's
Sting,
to be
shoot
polite.
Sting without the
And
face
Kevin
paint. Yes,
Sullivan.
Trashly.
Well, we didn't learn a lot
He's
from Ole
injured.
Anderson.
Doesn't
I
need to
think he
paint
was
his
a little bit,
face
evasive
when his
in my
patella is
estimation about
snapped.
who he's recruited, and we'll find
Yes,
out
this is all
exactly
going on
who they
during
are
the
this Sunday night
push
on the
for Hogan
NWA
Warrior,
event.
going into
Because
WrestleMania
they're scheduled
6
to wrestle at 6:05
over on the other
this Sunday
promotion.
night on TBS.
I think what he didn't say was more interesting than what he said, frankly.
Sullivan's like, get back here, you son of a bitch.
Ranger Ross exploding.
He certainly is, starting out quickly on Cactus Jack, who reversed the Irish whip.
Ah, oh shit! Jack's like, I cannot wait to bump.
Cactus Jack went
Please
for
let me
Irish
fall
move,
on
and
something.
Kevin Sullivan around, slaps him in the...
Oh god, goes to Burt Prentice. Anytime Ranger Ross attempted to steal anything, it did not end
You
well
had
for
Buzz
him.
Sawyer to that conglomerate, and you've got three real
Look at
strange
snakeskin tights. Amazing. All right, Yankee Hawk 04, have a good night. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out here. Yeah, we will see you Friday. Friday for Off the Grid. Special Friday Off the Grid. Because I am an idiot and forgot what day the AEW pay-per-view is on. Friday Off the Grid.
One step ahead of Cactus Jack there, and the Ranger, who is really improving by leaps and bounds each and every time we see this outstanding youngster. He's from Ackworth, Georgia, as you heard during the introduction. Tagging in Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Wildfire.
A man that on one time was a heavyweight champion of the world. He defeated the legendary Harley Race for that title. Now quick tags in and out.
Overlord.
Well, Cactus
Did
Jack may
Foley
be
ever say what his body
confused
did
while
that he
he's
needed to
rapid
punish it
tag.
for?
But he certainly made a good adjustment there with the elbow.
My opinion there is when he should have tagged up. Rich and Ross have been tagging in and out. It appears to me that Cactus Jack, exactly.
What time Friday? 9 p.m. 999. Normally it's 8 for Off the Grid. It'll be 9 o'clock on Friday.
A near fall situation. The Ranger back in the side headlock. It quickly tags in Tommy Wildfire Rich. And Rich and the Ranger tagging in very quickly, very timely.
Again, I'm saying this. I literally am booking this all on the fly right now.
At this point in time, keep a fresh man in there at all times.
I must remind you fans that this Saturday night on World Championship Wrestling,
Like, I know Mick could actually wrestle. I don't know if even if at another time he would have been like a technical wrestler.
I'll have a very special
I think he always would have tried to stand out with his bumps in any time
We'll be
period.
hearing a report on Sting. That and so much more this Saturday night on World Championship Wrestling at 6:05. Tommy Rich faking Cactus Jack to his feet. And Cactus Jack may be
Bless Tommy
confused
Rich's
now
heart,
by
and
his
this is not me
rapid attacking
endorsing
in and out.
steroid
Keeping him
use,
off
far
balance.
from it.
He is mentally
Could you
off
imagine
balance,
being
we
a
know.
kid and like
That look pretty
WWF's
well
got like
tells
the
that
Ultimate
story.
Warrior, like Hulk
He gets a
Hogan,
little vacant occasionally.
all these giant, jacked, painted up, tan
The sad thing about
superheroes,
this is of the
and
trio,
then
Kevin
turn on this
Sullivan's the
show
same as
and you're
one of
supposed
the
to cheer
group.
fucking Tommy
That tells you
Rich,
the mental state that those three travel in.
looking like your Aunt D.
Tommy Rich held on to the side headlock tenaciously. Sullivan, that low center of gravity, he's
Wearing
so
old lady
powerful,
panties.
but he cannot free himself from the side headlock.
Like there are some guys look good in trunks.
Good move by Tommy.
And then there are guys like
Wildfire
Tommy
Sullivan
Rich,
very wisely
who,
now
and it's not like he's in good shape. He's in good physical shape, but just the whole aesthetic, he looks like an old lady in granny panties.
A lot of guys want Flair. They want to avenge Sting. Johnny Ace won
Tommy
as
looks
many
like he has a,
friends
yeah,
as
that hair
Sting,
looks
but
fake,
stand
yeah.
in line to say, I want Flair. I don't care if the title's on the line or not. I want Ric Flair in the ring, and that's what Johnny Ace will get this Sunday night. The Nature Boy, with Woman at ringside on the NWA main event this Sunday night at 6:05.
That's true,
And I
yeah.
don't know that Flair
Especially
won't try to set an
Foley.
example with Johnny
Foley
Ace as
looks
they
like an
did with
insane
Sting.
person.
Ranger Ross is holding on that side headlock. I hope they don't
Sullivan's
get
just a
counted out
fire
here.
pole.
That shows a great deal of tenacity.
But the way he acts kind of makes you kind of like a good actor who can like in a dramatic scene just have like a blank face. And they say that the blank face is you can paint the emotion onto them with your mind's eye. That's kind of Kevin Sullivan
has
here.
been unable to figure a way
You can
out,
paint
for
the
lack of a
insanity
better term,
onto
on
this
side
guy.
Headlock, but there's a good move, and Rich held on again. Good offensive
Ranger
move
Ross
by
does look
Sullivan,
good.
But Tommy Rich, to his credit, held
Look
on.
at that scar tissue on Tommy's forehead.
Hooking
Holy
just under
shit.
the ear.
Acid wash tights. Yes,
good
that
tagging
is
here
way too
as,
dead on.
Much perspiration begins to flow as this match
Perspiration,
progresses. It's going to be increasingly
baby.
difficult to hold somebody in a side headlock.
Ranger Ross beat Cactus Jack to the punch there and tags in Tommy Rich again. Very good strategy by Rich.
Yeah, and also I feel like wrestling people only know one crazy person.
And Sullivan, who
That would
is
be,
deeply involved with
Charlie
Norman,
Manson.
as Cactus
Jay
Jack is the
Arisi,
captain
thank you so
for
much for the
conduct. And Tommy Rich
follow.
almost got
Appreciate
pinned there.
having you. Glad to have you
Sullivan and
along.
Cactus Jack deeply involved
Hang out,
with
relax,
Norman
watching
and
the main
Captain
event
Mike
right now.
McCullough, respectively. As we mentioned, those four
Sullivan Slaughterhouse
will have quite a
versus Tommy
matchup this
Rich
Saturday
and
night on World Championship
Ranger
Wrestling.
Ross.
That's one I'm going to see for sure.
Tommy tagging in Ranger Ross, Cactus Jack in. Cactus Jack. I don't know. We know his deck is not really fully shuffled. Probably a card or two short, to be honest about it. As he tries to get the Ranger up. But the Ranger held on again.
On his deck.
Well, the strategy being
His
deployed
deck,
right
not
now by Tommy
not
Rich and
that
Ranger
other
Ross
thing.
is excellent in my opinion.
That was the
Keeping
Ric
that
Flair
fresh
match we
going, and
watched
now,
last hour.
The crowd beginning to pick up the chant for the double R's, Rich and Ross.
The double R's. You know, I bet off mic, Gordon said something else with a hard
The
R.
vertical base to the other side, tagging in Tommy Rich. Cactus Jack, a little
Foley
confused there, dropped
going for the
down.
drop down
And Foley
there.
just Millie dropped out of sight there. Big right hand. by
Hey, Kevin
Wildfire.
Ford. Hello,
And Rich
hello.
to the corner
Look at you,
for a big
stranger.
elbow.
Glad to have you popping in
But
here.
nobody was there.
Right when I
And
accused
Cactus Jack
Gordon
with the
Soley of some
tag to
racism.
Sullivan. Norman is at
Glad to have my
ringside.
old pal Kevin Ford here.
Norman does not like Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack, and Sullivan just wrapped Rich's arm, a tricep, right around the steel ring post.
Did you all see that cameraman with the red athleisure jumpsuit at ringside? Just standing out like the sorest, reddest thumb. Now he's on the apron.
Sullivan,
Holy
the leader of
shit.
the trio of Sullivan, Sawyer, and the Cactus. And
There's Norman.
He's got his own T-shirt on. And Norman challenging Kevin Sullivan. Of course, Sullivan doesn't want to fight him if it's face up.
Oh my god, I kind of want that Norman shirt.
Nice shirt.
Hey, Rough Rider. Hello,
One of the
hello.
many new items, souvenir items that fans can take
Also, it
advantage
doesn't
of
help
wherever
Tommy
they
Rich
see
that it looks like he's wearing
World
volleyball knee
Championship
pads.
Wrestling and the NWA. Cactus Jack now controlling Tommy Rich.
Oh, Brian, you
working on
pointed
the
it
arm.
out.
Rich's
Yes, the
shoulder.
cartel pre-explodes
Or his elbow, really, is
before
what
coming back
they're
together
working on. It was the
a year
elbow that
later
he
in
missed
Global.
with.
Cactus and Norman, aka Muckin Singh.
Well, if crowd support can win a match for you, Rich and Ross should win it because the crowd here at Rock Hill is definitely behind them all the way.
Wildfire going downstairs on
Wildfire.
Cactus Jack. Tommy's
What the
left
fuck
arm,
was
you can see, it's
fucking
not real effective
collie
right
chop?
now. It's tossed to the outside. And Cactus
Oh,
Jack
Mick's
up
gonna
on
do
the
something
apron.
stupid. Okay, that wasn't as
Cactus
stupid
Jack
as I
with
thought
a
it'd be.
Clothesline in the back.
Oh
of
yeah, I
the
gotta
head.
send
He
that
is so
stash
unorthodox. He
pages.
comes
I bet
at
that'll
you
be
so many
made in like a
different
week.
ways. And there's
Good
Kevin
idea,
Sullivan.
Kevin.
Sullivan
Oh,
glancing blow off the post on Tommy
Mike Shaw
Rich.
did have a
But the
pretty
damage has
wild
been done. Rich's
kayfabe
arm
journey.
really in a lot of pain here.
Muckin'
And Sullivan
Singh.
back in the ring as Cactus Jack really
He's a
takes a
trucker.
shortcut on Wildfire.
He was a he
Well,
was
the referee has a
an
dilemma
insane
now. He's trying to
person,
get, some
lunatic,
semblance of order restored back into
and
the
then he
ring.
just had
Meanwhile,
bad
this is a little
hygiene.
break
He
for,
was a
Tommy
monk at
Wildfire
one
Rich.
point.
Rich is a very game competitor, an outstanding attitude.
Game,
So
mama,
competitive each and every
game.
time you see Tommy. Arm barred by
Yeah,
Cactus
Friar
Jack, Ranger
Ferguson,
Ross. There's old
aka the
Norman down
monk,
there.
the Mad Monk.
Norman would like to tag in. Norman doesn't understand the rules very well. I think we'll get to get him
That
an
Norman,
illustrated rule book
he's
sometime so he
stupid. You
understands
see.
the rules of professional wrestling. I wouldn't want to give him a pop quiz on it.
Yeah, Bastion
like a
Booger. Yep,
driver's
he
test or something, but,
horrible hygiene.
Sullivan, oh, double collision there. Their heads.
I actually think I would have liked Bastion Booger no more if his name was Bastion Booger. But like, he wasn't a slug. He was a well-kept man, but his name was Booger. I think that would have been a more fun gimmick.
The legal man now, and the Ranger showing that Ranger commando fighting spirit.
Commando fighting spirit. He's not wearing underwear.
And here comes Tommy Rich back. back into the fray.
His balls are jingling and jingling.
Competitors in the ring. Referee Mike Atkins, and there goes the referee.
Mike Atkins, come on.
That should be an automatic disqualification. The referee did not see it. There's Norman
Get that mustache out of your face.
Ranger Ross back in the ring.
Yeah, he's right over the top rope. Certainly.
I'm wrestling to save up the money to get a name change to Greg Booger. Oh, hey, he pulled the balls. He pulled the man's balls. Very awkward ending. Norman's mentally ill, but in a good way. Not like these evil folks that are dealing with mental illness. Also, bless Mike Shaw. He really did let too many people body slam him too casually.
These two will meet Norman and Captain Mike Rotunda this Saturday night on World Championship Wrestling. If Norman makes it that far.
Well, Norman's firing back now. He's back on his feet and
right in the belly. Also, why is his shirt? Does his shirt have tails?
Wait a minute, here comes Captain Mike Rotunda.
Captain Mike, too busy inheriting a boat. Brian says, I remember when I was in the psych ward and they issued me a t-shirt with a drawing of my face on it. With wacky fun font. Norman and Ralph is not the same person. No. Norman was Mike Shaw. Ralphus was a ring crew guy.
Get in together this Saturday night at 6:05.
I think, was Norman I thought Norman was a trucker after he was a lunatic. Because the PBS was like, you can't call him a lunatic, that's insensitive. Ralphus was a shoot truck driver, yes.
I must remind you that this week's Wrestlers of the Week.
This is so random. Why are they the Wrestlers of the Week?
Champions of the world, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
Like a Ned Brady 2 weeks ago.
Action, this Saturday night, it will be Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack to take on Norman and Captain Mike Rotunda. We saw a little introduction of that just a moment ago.
We did indeed.
We did, and now we would like all of you people at home to be interested in a Mike Rotunda and Mike Shaw against Kevin Sullivan and Mick Foley match. I mean, the heel team's fun.
He certainly is, and you know, we talked about the situation throughout the hour. Ole Anderson was almost like a politician. He jumped around the issues. We're going to see his new team, whoever they may be this Sunday
Jim,
night
talk more about politics, buddy. Come on.
Any idea who they are?
No, he belongs with the Minnesota Twins right now because he did more fielding without answering anything than any man I've ever heard of. But he did give
Sassy Gordon with his one-liners.
Fans, also this Saturday night, we'll focus on the World's Heavyweight Championship situation. We'll hear from Lex Luger, and we will hear from the incomparable Nature Boy Ric Flair.
The incomparable.
And also a report from Sting exclusively this Saturday night.
Again, like he's in fucking Bosnia. It's a modern-day Chuck Knobloch. I know who Chuck Knobloch is.
We hope you'll be with us.
He played sports in the 90s. I'm somewhat familiar with him.
I'm Jim Ross saying so long, everybody.
Saucy Gordon, yes. Sauce being at the bottom of that cup. All right. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me the last couple of hours. This wild, wonderful world, this web that we all wove. WCW Deep Cuts Live. What a great hang. As always, thank you so much for everybody hanging out. And also thank you for helping me realize that I booked a stream against a pay-per-view on Sunday. So here in a second, a graphic's going to pop up to promote Off the Grid. Ignore that it says Sunday on it. We're going to go live Friday at 9 p.m. Off the Grid Friday at 9 p.m. this week. Because that fucking Tony Khan, he had to go and make money. It's put a bunch of people in a building for a really good wrestling show. Fucking dare he. Whereas Friday at 9, we're going to watch terrible wrestling. We're going to have a blast doing it. Friday at 9 p.m. live on YouTube, on Twitch, and elsewhere. Who knows? Yeah, thank you all so much. I'm going to be back there Friday. And then again, another switch. WCW Deep Cuts Live will be Monday next week due to a work commitment I have. Monday at 9. WCW Deep Cuts Live this coming week. So many changes. I will be back to Tuesday the following week. Hopefully nothing too weird happens. But as always, I like to say this at the end. We don't even have a stream next Tuesday, but I still want you to make it the next Tuesday if you can. That's all I'm asking, 7 days. You know, make it to Friday, make it to Monday. Definitely make it the next Tuesday. I'm going to try my hardest. I've been dealing with some stuff myself, and I've been real sad and I've been real anxious. But hanging out with you guys is one hell of an influence to, you know, keep on going. So yeah, thank you again so much for your fellowship, your friendship, your fun. This has been WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. Go to bed.